of WZR Radio here on WZROnline.com. I'm Ryan Clark. He's Matt Boone. We're going to be here on a Thursday night. 2 hours talking pro wrestling, WWE TLC from Sunday night, which was an excellent pay-per-view, and Monday Night Raw from Monday night, obviously. Hey now, what's going on, man? We're this is it, man. This is it, right?
This is 2012. This is the end right here. Well, actually, tomorrow we could be gone tomorrow, according to some dumb people.
Very dumb people. According to some very dumb people. Tomorrow's the end of the world. Do
you know anybody who buys into that bullshit theory? Because I actually do know some people who really think it's going down tomorrow.
What? It's the Mayan calendar.
End of the Mayan. It's the end of the Mayan calendar. It's the dumbest shit ever. There's no reason to talk about it. But I'm just asking if you knew anybody who actually believes in it. Like, do you have any friends that are like, yo, man, seriously, this is real deal. You know. I have friends like that.
I mean, you know, people talk about it on Facebook, and you know, they've been replying to threads and things like that. But no, I don't have any real life people that actually believe it's gonna end. You know what I mean? I mean, what happens, dude? What the fireballs hit the earth or something? You know, what's the big?
There's a bunch of different theories. One of the main ones I can't even remember. It's something to do with like. Oh God, the planets and the moons and the shit's gonna line up, and we're not gonna be able to have electricity, like the whole country, like the whole world, and I don't fucking know. It's the stupidest shit you've ever heard in your life. I don't know where people come up with these things. It's like Y2K,
right? And
the Rapture all over again. Like, it's the same paranoia, and it's just stupid.
No, there was something a couple months ago where the world was supposed to end too, and then there was, we just recently had, you know, actually not last Tuesday, it was actually the day after, on Wednesday, was 12/12/2012, so people were talking about that too, you know what I mean? Where they were saying...
well, a lot of people had it actually... Stop, cat. Fucking what cat? Oh, it's raining down here. But no, like, a lot of people had the dates mixed up. They thought it was 12/12/12, but it's 12/21/12, so you flip the 12 in the middle around, instead of 1/2, it's 2/1.
Yeah,
Tomorrow it's supposed to go down, but of course, absolutely nothing will happen, and everybody's life will be as boring and typical as always.
Did you, I put up a photo yesterday on Facebook. It was Steve Austin, some of the paparazzi, they caught him out, and he was grocery shopping, right? And he had a bunch of bags, and then somebody, you know how those images come out on Facebook. People, you know, they tag them, and they use Photoshop to do stupid little things. It said, you know, the world is ending, you need to stock up on cans of whoop ass or something. It was pretty funny, dude. You had to see it. I don't know. Yeah.
I've seen because you're into the weather and stuff. It was like the 7-day forecast where they show each day, and if it's going to rain, you get clouds and some lightning. If it's going to be sunny, you get a big sunshine.
Yeah, and it had the it had
forecast for this week. Somebody had like what's tomorrow? Friday. They had Friday like all like fire and hell and shit.
I saw that. I saw that about a week ago, man. Yeah, that's another one that's been all over Facebook. But so listen, man, this is it, right? We made the decision before we came on the air here tonight that this is it for WZR Radio, man. We're done.
For this year, right? You retiring.
See, you didn't play into it, dude. I was gonna try to hype it up and say, yeah, we made the decision. This is it.
You should have alluded that we're retiring. I didn't even know I thought you were being serious. I had no idea.
No, it's this is it, man. This is the final show of 2012 for WZR Radio. We've had a great year, man. WZROnline.com has shown unbelievable growth over the past year. And the radio show as well, man. You know, more and more people show up to the chat room on a weekly basis, and numbers are up.
I know you didn't just say we had a great year, because that is the dumbest thing. I've had one of the worst years of my life this year, and it gets worse every day. But yeah.
I'm talking about, I'm not talking personal lives, I'm talking about the website.
Professional life hasn't gone great either, bro.
No, but I'm not, I'm not talking about professional life and everything like that. I'm talking about WZROnline.com, the chat room, the radio show. Everything has gone well this year, man. Everything's grown, especially the website, man. I mean, I remember in January, you know, WZROnline.com was averaging, I don't know, between 3,000 and 4,000 unique visitors on a daily basis. And right now, we're above 10,000 on a daily basis every single day. So that's a huge...
Triple the numbers in 1 year. That's crazy. How long is this? It's like 4 years, I want to say?
I'm thinking closer to 3, but you may... I don't know. I would have to go check when I bought the domain, because as soon as I bought the domain name, you know what? It may be 4 years. You may be right.
You didn't have it when I lived with you in East Greenbush. You didn't have that website yet, right?
No, I don't believe so. I would have to go.
It was right when I left. You might have got it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to go back to see where, the website's anniversary is. But man, oh man, I mean, just in the past year, I mean, with you doing the galleries and me with the news and I mean, the site's just grown in leaps and bounds, man. And to be honest with you, it's right up there with ProWrestlingScoops.com, which used to be my #1 website. And we're up there, man. WZR Online is a couple more years, and I think it may take over PWS as my #1 website,
Well, I mean, there's one major reason for that, and I think it's obvious to everybody, is that
something to do with you. Something to do with you. What are you?
For 2 hours a week. Yeah, for 2 hours a week, you can hear Matt Boone live and in color, I guess you'd say, verbally. Everybody. Yeah, they all rush to the website one day a week, and that's why it's traffic.
It's all about Boone on Tuesday nights. 2 hours you can listen to Matt Boone. Yeah!
What a treat.
What
a treat.
Yeah, right.
I'm everybody's favorite stocking stuffer. You dig?
You dig, yeah. We all dig it, dude. Get out of here. Dig yourself yourself further into a grave, dude. Alright, so check it out. This is what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk WWE TLC tables, ladders, and chairs from this past Sunday night. Great pay-per-view. That was one of WWE's best pay-per-views of the year. Of course, WrestleMania is going to be up there. It is every year. The Royal Rumble is another one. But man, oh man, TLC was, from top to bottom, awesome pay-per-view, man. Awesome pay-per-view.
Yeah, and it was one of those where going into it, it didn't particularly look like it was going to be like, oh, I can't wait for this show, or, man, these matches are going to be crazy, or this program is so intense, and the feud's so awesome, and the build-up's been so great. It seemed like just another gimmick pay-per-view, like Elimination Chamber or Hell in a Cell, but it really delivered in the ring. I mean, especially that Shield match. That fucking match was crazy.
You know what? I was saying on Facebook. Did you go back and watch that match or no? Have you seen it yet?
I watched, just that match. I watched all of Raw, and I saw the Shield match at TLC. But yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. I can't watch the stream, so I went back and downloaded just that match.
Yeah, that was. It's very, very late in the year, but I gotta tell you, man, that was up there. I mean, we're in December right now. You know what I mean? So it's very tough to say, match of the year candidate. That was one of them, man. That was one of them, and I know there's been, you had The Undertaker and.
Triple H, end of an era. Yeah, that was a good one. That's the one that slammed me, right?
It did. Well, that was, I mean, listen, dude, the Slammies were so rigged. I mean, we'll get into that when we talk Monday Night Raw. There were some surprises on Raw, but overall, the show as a whole, it was lackluster. There was something missing on Raw, but I mean there were the New Age Outlaws. It was cool to see them back. Obviously Ric Flair's return. We'll get into that and why it happened. Who else? The Boogeyman, Tommy Dreamer was back.
Tommy Dreamer, yeah. Oh shit, Triple H.
Triple H came back and teased. Actually, he didn't tease it. He said Undertaker's going to be coming back. You guys knew that. Everybody who reads the website, you knew that a few weeks ago Taker approached WWE and said, he would work another match at WrestleMania. So we knew that was coming, but it was cool to get confirmation, right, from Triple H on Raw Monday.
Yeah, I want the confirmation of who he's going to be wrestling, but I mean everybody assumed he would be there, so the announcement would have been he's not there, not going to be there. The announcement that he was there was like, oh, we were expecting him anyway. I think he just said it because he had his big return, first time on TV with the short hair too, I think.
Right. And everybody's chanting.
Everybody pops, and immediately they just start chanting Undertaker. So it's like, God damn, Triple H makes a surprise return and nobody gives a shit. They're just like, well, Undertaker. He had to say something.
Right. Well, and then he hyped it up too. He said, everybody, this is on everybody's mind. Everybody wants to know da-da-da-da-da. And that's when he broke it. But I mean, listen, dude. As far as the show as a whole, the Slammy Awards never. It's one of those shows where you're like, and that's what it was on Monday.
I've missed it the past few years, but watching it this past Monday, or Tuesday because I downloaded it. But I was ready for the show and everything, whatever. But I was thinking while I was watching the Slammy stuff, like, if they would treat it like the Hall of Fame and give Slammy Awards, their own show on TV, just an award show, and take it seriously, not LOL of the Year award and hashtag, like, stupid shit.
Right.
If they took it seriously, like the wrestling versions of the Oscars, it would be, I think it would be pretty fucking cool. Like, I think they're missing the boat on that.
Right, and not only that, dude, but we'll get into it when we run down Raw, but did you notice, I mean, anybody that wins the Slammy Award, immediately after they win the award, there's an angle, right? There's a storyline angle that they've already got planned out, and that right there shows you the voting is rigged, man. Of course it's rigged, because they've got something planned, or a match, whatever comes after the segment, there's always some, it leads into something else featuring that person, you know what I mean?
Well, a good example of that would be Ryback, because he had won, I want to say, it was either Newcomer of the Year or Hashtag of the Year for Feed Me. I think it was Hashtag of the Year. He won, and he didn't come out to accept his award because they knew already that he was going to win Newcomer of the Year later on in the show, and then that's when he would come out, because they didn't want him to come out twice and Ben had a match, so they saved his slammy speech for the second one, which, if it's real voting, how would they even know he was going to win a second one and not send him out to accept his first one? You know what I mean?
Right, and not only that, but I mean, you've got a guy like Zack Ryder who was out there to deliver that award, and he's top 5 as far as Twitter followers are concerned in WWE, obviously behind guys like John Cena, The Rock. I don't know if he's even included in the top 5 as he's not full-time, but Ryder's up there as number 5, or right in that top 5, you know.
Yeah, he's in the top 5 of followers, which says a lot. I mean, it says a whole lot, because they don't do shit to promote that guy. It's all on his own, and he's getting over on his own in a direct way with the fans through social media, even though he's being toileted on TV everywhere. And he looked miserable presenting that award. He looked just, and he's one of the guys, I remember you telling me.
He's not happy, man.
During that big, yeah, he was one of the mid-carders that's just like, fuck this shit, this bullshit.
No, you know what it is? A lot of these guys, man, a lot of the mid-card guys, and there's some divas as well, Natalia being one of them, where they show up to TV tapings, and you know what? They've just got this attitude now where, JTG's another one who I've spoken to directly, and they just show up to TV tapings, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it, man. I'm getting a paycheck. I'm not even worried about getting pushed anymore. I'm just going to keep my job until eventually they're probably...
going through the motions, yeah. Like, all right, what do I got to do to get paid? I got to show up. I got to what? I got to sit backstage and do nothing. All right, you want to give me my check, and then I'll go to the next town. They're just going through the motions. They don't care anymore.
Exactly, dude. They're just, they could give a fuck, man, and they're either waiting for the release, or some of them have opted, obviously, everybody wants to work WrestleMania, and you know what happens after WrestleMania almost every year. It didn't happen this past year because of Linda McMahon's Senate campaign, but almost every year after WrestleMania, you get the roster cuts. So a lot of these guys and some of the girls as well are just saying, you know what, we'll stick around until WrestleMania, get that bonus if they give a bonus this year for access and everything else, and then say screw it. They're either going to fire me or I'm going to quit. If something doesn't happen with me and me getting a push between now and WrestleMania, screw it, I'm out. You know what I mean? So it's basically showing up for a paycheck, but they're pissed off. So what are you gonna do?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get some stuff out of the way real quick, and then we'll get into it. Like I said, hour number 1, we're gonna talk TLC and Monday Night Raw from last night. We've got our live chat room on and in progress. WZROnline.com. /chat, WZROnline.com /chat. Get there. Lots and lots of people in there tonight. We need to address something that happened last Friday. You guys that live in the United States know what happened in Newtown, Connecticut. It was a school shooting. A guy walked in and shot to death 20 children. There were 20 children and 6 staff members. And
okay. How old? This is the only piece of information I don't know about the story. The shooter himself, was he a kid or was he an adult? How old was he?
He was a 20-year-old guy that they said, was quiet throughout his life and was homeschooled. And, he was able to get access to the guns that his mother had in the house. And he went and basically shot her. She was in bed sleeping, and he shot her 4 times in the face, and then went to the school and basically... nobody knows the reason at this point, but went into one of the classrooms and it turned out to be a kindergarten classroom, and at close range with an assault rifle just killed these innocent kids, man. 5, 6, 7-year-old kids that had absolutely no chance, man, and just. I mean, I've got Haley here, man. My sister just had you've got Tyler down there, and they're innocent kids. They just had no chance. It is one of the saddest things that could have happened. I've with the family, some of the families have released photos of their kids just to basically show how good these kids were and what they had planned ahead in life, and aren't going to be able to accomplish that now. And the photos that have came out, it's just so sad, man.
It's sad, yeah. It's fucking heartbreaking to see like a little kid with that smile. Cause like well, it was a couple weeks ago. I was at a friend's house and they had their kids outside playing. And I don't want to sound like a sad sap, but I'm watching them. Like they had a piece of chalk and a sidewalk. And so they make like a little hopscotch, and they're jumping around, and they look like they're having the funnest fucking time in the world, and it's just a piece of chalk. And I'm like, I remember commenting to my friend Joanne at the time, I'm like, my God, I wish I could be half as happy as they are with a piece of chalk. Like, they're so happy, and
I know,
it's just a piece of chalk outside. Like, there's so much promise, and they're so young, and they got their whole life ahead of them, and everything, they love, you know what I mean? Like, they're not old enough to be depressed and miserable yet. They're just full of joy, and then to have some fucking psycho get a hold of an assault rifle and just go in and take all their lives from them for no reason. It's tragic as shit. It's insanity at its worst, and it's the second of two. Like the Colorado movie theater shooting.
Right.
This is even worse because it was just kids, and they're so defenseless. It's just.
Well, and I think that's why it took so many people off guard, as there were a lot of innocent kids involved, and when you're dealing with 5, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, it is heartbreaking, man. And if anybody knows anybody in Connecticut or that was involved in that, if there's anything we can do, let us know. Shoot us an email, webmasterprowrestlingscoops.com. If there's anything we can do for you guys, we're here. We've got a family here, man. WZR Army. It's kind of like a family every week. So if there's anything we can do, let us know. And hopefully, man, I mean, they're gonna take some measures now, but there's millions and millions of guns out in the street. Not only that, but people get killed with knives, and you can't ban knives. It's just. There's really no way around it. You could turn this into a whole debate, and a lot of people have, but I don't think it
makes me sick seeing everybody bringing up the gun safety issue.
It's not the time.
Just shut up.
It's not the time.
Everybody's got an opinion now. Like like a week ago, nobody was talking about gun control. Now everybody's got an opinion, and everybody thinks they're right. And they know how to fix everything. Like psychos are gonna kill people. If they're gonna kill people, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna take a fucking axe or a blow dart gun, whatever it takes. If they're psycho and they want to kill people, they're going to kill people.
Right, and drugs are illegal too, and look what happened. Look what happens with that. If they make them illegal, there's already millions. It's just not the time to debate that. Think about the kids, man. Think about all those innocent lives and innocent lives lost last Friday, man. It's not the time for a debate. What I mean?
You're exactly right. That should be the focus. Like my roommate. He always listens to he listens to like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and all these Republican douchebags, and every time I'm in the car, and you hear him with so much passion talking about gun control, like they're losing focus of the issue, which is what we're talking about. The issue is a bunch of innocent fucking kids got murdered by a psychotic crazy person, and now everybody has like just shut up and just fucking let the families mourn the loss.
Well, just wait until
get on with the
wait until after the funerals that happened this week, and the photos and the media that's surrounding the funeral homes and things like that. Just stay away, man. You know what I mean? There's no need. Nobody needs to see that. You know what I mean? The caskets of young children. So listen, man. Like I said, if there's anything we can do, we're a family here every Tuesday night, man. So if there's anything, webmaster@prowrestlingscoops.com, and we'll see what we can do for anybody involved. So this is it, man. Like I said, man, this is our final show of 2012, and then we're gonna open up 2013 on the 1st, man. We're gonna be here on New Year's Day, January 1st. We're not gonna be here next week. Tuesday is Christmas, so everybody's gonna be with their families, and it's gonna be a very slow week, next week. They've already got Raw taped. They've already got SmackDown taped for next week as well. So it's going to be quiet on the websites. There'll be news on a daily basis, but it's going to be quiet next week. So we're going to take the week off, and then we'll come back in 2013, kick it off with a bang, right?
Bang bang.
WZROnline.com /chat. WZROnline.com/chat. That about does it. Buffalo Bills got murked by the Seattle Seahawks, and the Detroit Lions suffered another loss as well. So not a good week for our football teams. Not good. What are you gonna do?
Never is. We got two of our teams in the history of the game, so we're not gonna have too many successful weeks.
So, WWE TLC from this past Sunday night. Like we talked about earlier, man, what a great pay-per-view from top. An awesome effort from WWE. The Battle Royal, they held a Divas Battle Royal on the pre-show. This was a surprise, man. Naomi, right? One of Brodus Clay's
you wanted to do predictions last week, and you asked me for my predictions. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to pick a diva that's going to win a pre-show Battle Royal? They could have anybody win.
Well,
I don't know, the matchmaking, if you look back at it in hindsight, hindsight's 2020, almost every heel won their match. So shit like that, like the Battle Royal and the Wade Barrett, Kofi King, they gotta have some good guys go over. It can't be on a show where every bad guy wins every match. So
right.
That goes into the decision making a lot. So I think that was the case there.
They took AJ Lee out of the match, and a lot of people were asking why. And at the end of the pay-per-view, everybody found out as she came out and basically screwed John Cena out of his match. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I heard you were surprised by that too.
I was. I didn't see it happen. No, not that quick, man. I thought they were going to continue to play out that storyline, I knew eventually AJ would wind up turning on him, or John Cena would try to distance himself from AJ, and that's what had been happening for about a week. But they went right into it, man, where she screwed him over at the end. So anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Naomi won a Divas Battle Royal, right? And that means that she was going to, not defend, but challenge Eve Torres for the WWE Divas title later in the show. So that was kind of a surprise there. Then we opened up the actual pay-per-view. It was Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara against Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. This is a tables match. It was a good way to open the pay-per-view, man. We had... Oh, you know what? Sin Cara underwent knee surgery today, man. You could tell during this match, dude, that something was wrong. Even Jim Ross sent out a tweet during the pay-per-view saying something's up with Sin Cara's knee, and you could see it during the match. It was a short match. They had God, I'm trying to think back. God, it was Sunday. We're at Thursday, right? Who was it? They were up on the top rope, right? And there was a table on the outside, and I think it was Sin Cara who was on the top rope, and Cody Rhodes shoved him backwards, and then he went through a table onto the floor. It was a pretty sick spot, man.
That's the spot. Well, there was a spot where both Sin Cara and Ray both went through tables on the outside. I'm trying to think if that was the one you're talking. Maybe that was a different spot.
No, I think this was Sin Cara was on the top rope, and Cody Rhodes came up and shoved him backwards, and then through the table. And you're talking about Sin Cara, who's got a knee injury, and he's the guy that took the major bump at the end to end the match. You know what I mean? So they had that. It was basically Rhodes Scholars were on top for most of the match. God, speaking of on top, did you hear about the UFC fighter, right, from the Ultimate Fighter, who his girlfriend Ray Ellsby, is that right? Ray Elby?
I don't know.
Right,
I don't know. What about it?
His girlfriend's on top, right, and they're having sex, right? So his girlfriend's on top, and she's bouncing up and down, and I guess she got a little bit too high, and when she came back down, she hit his fucking penis, and it's
thick.
And it snapped in half, bro. And he's trying to sell photos right now to the media of a snapped in half penis, man. It was all over TMZ. I don't know if it was 7.5 inches long, but it snapped.
I was gonna say, I don't know how. Honesty always makes the show interesting, right? I'm debating in my head because this is really embarrassing. Never mind.
You already brought yourself in. We want to hear it. Let's go. What you got?
I don't know about it broken in half, but I've got a similar issue. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
Did you get it checked out?
No, I haven't. I'm pretty sure because I hear Johnny Knoxville on Howard Stern. He talked about having the same problem. That his dick got broken, and he's got to shove a catheter in his dick twice a day, every single day.
Come on, man.
I can't do that. I can't do it, man.
Oh, my God.
Because of the cartilage and shit or whatever, supposedly you gotta like re-break it every day. Oh God, I couldn't do it. I can't do it, man.
Oh man.
So yeah, I got to deform 7.5 inches. Let's put it that way.
Oh man. Oh no, dude.
Hey, I thought I said never mind, and you're gonna fucking pull it out of me. There it is. But yeah, it's fucking embarrassing.
I did. Oh
just imagine.
Man.
Just imagine when you're alone with a girl, and then the first time. Oh God.
Oh.
It's not good.
Oh man. All right, moving on, dude. Back to TLC. The second match tonight, it was Antonio Cesaro against R-Truth for the U.S. title. Cesaro won clean here. Hit that forearm, and then the neutralizer is what he calls it. They kept. It was a pretty short match. R-Truth, was basically down for most of the match. Got a brief comeback, and then after the match, Cesaro cut a promo, said he was the greatest U.S. champion in history, and the people, who boo him are booing for their own country. And then he spoke in the foreign language, did that whole stick. So that was that. There was a backstage segment. It was Dolph Ziggler. He says, mark his words, tonight, everything's going to change. Said, glad his match tonight is going to be fair, and, or he's pissed off. It's going to be a fair match, but he's pissed off because why? He's already won the Money in the Bank briefcase, so why should he have to go and put that on the line? It doesn't make any sense. Vicky Guerrero basically screwed him over, da-da-da-da-da-da. And he said that when he wins tonight, he wants John Cena to retire. So that was that. There was an in-ring segment, dude. It was The Miz. He comes out, basically did the cheap pop, we're in Brooklyn tonight, blah, 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 blah. 3-man band, 3MB, eventually winds up coming out, and he's pissed off.
This surprised me right here when, I'll let you run it down, but yeah, what happened here surprised me.
Well, Slater's pissed off, and then, McIntyre said that 3MB was better than that has-been Jay-Z or that idiot Jay-Z. They're in the Barclays Center. Jay-Z's, I guess, the owner of the building or something like that. So that got a pop.
He helped open it. He helped open it with a couple concerts, and
right.
For the Brooklyn Nets, which he has part ownership in. He don't own the building, though.
That's what it is. He's part owner of the Brooklyn Nets. You're right. So He says Slater did the whole thing with the Rolling Stones, said that, the Rolling Stones wish they were as good as 3MB, da-da-da-da-da-da, and then they plugged that tomorrow night, Monday night on Raw, they're going to perform live. I don't think that ever happened. Did it?
Did they say that? Because no, they didn't perform live. No, they had the rematch with a different mystery partner, which was Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they set that up. Basically, earlier in the show, they said, go and find yourself a tag team partner, similar to what they did at TLC, right? So they're in the ring, and Miz said, all right, well, you're gonna perform on Raw. That's gonna be the official bathroom break for everybody, right? Then they go outside the ring and they start making fun of the Spanish announce team, and Ricardo Rodriguez runs down, right? So they start bullying him, and this is where Alberto Del Rio comes in for a babyface turn. We had known that was coming. We put it up on the website. Basically turned...
Oh, we did know that. See, that
did.
Surprised me. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that was going to happen. But
well,
I was like, wow, they're turning him face, like, with no real angle. Like, he's not in a singles program where he turned on Rodriguez or anything like that. Here he is. He's a face now. Like
it's a slow build, man, to a babyface turn. As they followed it up on Raw. He came out and tagged with The Miz, who is also a babyface now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's my point. You have to point out that the Miz is a babyface because he really still acts the same. He just tries to be funny in a positive way instead of a negative way. He still seems like a heel to me, but he's not like an established babyface. So Del Rio trying to get over from being a top heel to a top face, and he's only got the Miz to, you know what I mean, to support that. And it's like, well, Miz isn't even really established as a babyface yet either, and it's weird.
It's weird. It is weird seeing both of them come out together, and they're supposed to be the baby faces. And not only that, but you know, I mean, here's a SmackDown spoiler real quick for next Friday night. You know, Del Rio comes out and he hits Santa Claus, and then he acts like a heel on next week's show. But the plan is, as we put up on the website, you know, again today, it's going to be a slow build to an eventual, you know, full babyface turn. But that's where they're going with it. So anyways, this is where Del Rio comes out. He clotheslines McIntyre. And Slater gets back on the microphone and says, you know, you guys find yourself a tag team partner, and you will take on 3MB. The whole crowd chants, "We want Ryder," right? Because they're in Brooklyn. And I was thinking, man, I got to be honest, I'm not just saying this because the show's over. Whenever you bring up the name Brooklyn, you always think the Brooklyn Brawler, right? And I had figured, you know,
I didn't. It didn't surprise me when because I was doing play-by-play, and when I saw that it was the Brooklyn Brawler, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. They're in Brooklyn, but I didn't. Before it happened, no, I didn't see that coming.
No, you didn't see. I figured, you know, he's always backstage, and maybe the reason I saw it coming is I watched the JBL and Michael Cole show, right, on WWE.com, and there was a cameo by the Brooklyn Brawler the week before. And that's why he was kind of in my head. I probably wouldn't have thought of it unless I had seen that video. And then when they were there for TLC, I'm thinking, all right, you're in Brooklyn. We saw the Brooklyn Brawler on the JBL and Cole show the week before. Maybe. And then he wound up...
Oh, that makes sense. And yeah, I didn't see him the week before. So I hadn't seen him in years. Like Steve Lombardi, I think the last time I saw him was on one of the documentaries. I think he was just like a talking head or something. But yeah, so I didn't see it coming.
The last time I saw Brooklyn Brawler, man, WWE came to Albany, and I went in to grab a bite of pizza, man, and it was the Brooklyn Brawler, Harvey Whippleman, and somebody else that were sitting at a table, man. And I'm like, no shit, man. Here they are, right outside the arena.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah, before the show, right? Like at a restaurant.
Right. At a little pizza shop right outside the arena. They were there. So, anyway, so we'll get to that in a minute. Kofi Kingston and Wade Barrett. This was for the IC title. This surprised me, man. Kofi retained here. We had both said, you know, we gave our predictions last week, you know, who the winner would be, Kofi Kingston or Wade Barrett. And they're building Barrett up, or they were, just a couple weeks ago with vignettes and everything else. And then he came back, and we had Kofi retain here, man. I didn't expect it.
I think it's temporary. Like I said before, they needed at least one or two baby faces to win because all the heels were going to win. And this was like, off the top of my head, I think this is the only baby face that won. No, there was two. I can't remember the second one, but I think that's the only reason he went over. And it looks like they're continuing that program, so I'm sure Barrett ends up with the title at some point.
Yeah, you're right. It was like you said, it was temporary. You know what I mean? But they had, I mean, this is a good match, man. Lots of near falls towards the end, and Barrett hit the Boss Man Slam, they call it, and then a full Nelson for the win, or not for the win. Then Kofi Kingston hit the SOS, and that was that. So, Kofi retains. Then we had CM Punk. He was up in a luxury box, right? Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Paul Heyman there as well, holding up the title. He says, it was basically a promo to say, you know, I'm 300 and something days with the WWE title. He took a shot at Brooklyn, called the slums of Staten Island, said that Ryback's lucky that he's injured tonight. Otherwise, you know, he'd come out and he would take him out. He's got a great track record at TLC. You know, basically said, when I'm ready, Ryback, you better be ready because I'm coming back and I'm coming for you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it was just an excuse to get him on the show since he's injured, and that's all that was.
Exactly. We had Daniel Bryan and Kane against Ryback and the Shield, man. This is a TLC match. This, dude, it's up there as match of the year, man. You saw it. You said you saw it. It was crazy.
It was crazy, man. It was fucking. Who was the guy that hit his head on it? They kept showing that replay on Raw. I think it was Rollins.
Tyler Black. Yeah, Seth Rollins. You're right. Yeah, Seth Rollins.
My God. That looked like it hurt.
God.
It looked like it hurt in that match. They were all over the fucking place.
Well,
they damn good, too.
They had like 4 tables set up, right? And they were up on the rampway, and Seth Rollins was up on the ladder, and Ryback came up and just took him off the ladder. And, man, I mean, they re-aired that on Raw, and Tyler Rollins' neck, man, or Tyler Rollins. Get the fuck
Tyler Black, Seth Rollins. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, man, he's lucky he wasn't hurt. As his head, you know, the first 2 tables broke, but the tables behind that didn't break, and snapped his head off.
Like you said, it was 4 tables, but you didn't really. It was 2 tables side by side, and then 2 tables on top of those 2 tables, so it looked like stacked up, but you know, and wide. So he went through the first table that was on top, but the second table that was on top next to it is the one he just bashed his head on as he was going through them. And, that looked bad.
This was 23 minutes of just chaos, man. Spot after spot.
Did you
know what I mean?
Did you see the Ring of Honor show yet or no?
I saw Final Battle. I watched the iPay-per-view, man. Did
any of those matches compete with this? Like, 'cause I heard that was like the best match of the weekend, including all the Ring of Honor shows.
I thought, you know, Kevin Steen and El Generico in the main event, God, the finishing spot on that was unreal, dude. There were 2 ladders set up, and then there was a ladder in between. It's basically like a makeshift scaffolding. You know what I mean? 2 ladders, 1 on each side, and then a ladder, 2 ladders in the middle, you know, connected by the ladders that were on the side. And, God, he basically hit a pile driver. Steen hit a pile driver on El Generico through the ladders, and they didn't break. Oh, dude, it was such a sick spot.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
But
and
no,
then,
back to the Shield match. Like, you knew with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan being involved in the match, you're going to have great work rate with stuff and flying and shit. But then you look at guys like Kane and Ryback, and you don't know a lot about Roman Reigns or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know what to expect, and they're just big guys, and like, you know, especially Ryback's not a particularly good worker, but when you have 3 good workers and then you got 3 big, strong guys,
right,
they can use their strength and their height and change, you know, to add to the match, to add something different. And then you have the good workers with the big guys, and it just blends together real well if the match is laid out properly, which in this case it was. It wasn't just a spot set, although there was a lot of that. It was really a good match with a lot of crazy shit in it, you know. Like,
exactly.
It was awesome.
Right. The Shield went over there, right? They wound up picking up the win there. Then we went into, it was basically, God, after that match, you know, I mean, the crowd's on fire after a match like that, and then basically you have a filler between that match and your world title match. So you had Eve Torres and Naomi for the Divas title. God, this was so quick, and it was like, why did Naomi win that match again? Because Eve Torres wound up going over here, hit the neck breaker in a real quick match, you know. So it was like, all right, they had her win a Divas battle, but then they completely jobbed her out on the pay-per-view. You know, it was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I mean, it was just an excuse to put a bridge match between the Shield match and the main event, like you said, something to calm the crowd down. But other than that, yeah, why pick somebody, give them this big opportunity, and then do nothing with it?
Right.
A, who cares because it's Divas, but B, yeah, why do that? It's not. There's no point in it. So why do it?
She's already with Brodus Clay, so she's already got that dancer gimmick. You know what I mean? So why? You know, it just didn't make any sense to have her, of all people that were in the Divas Battle Royal on the pre-show, have her win it. You know, it was just it was out of place. We had Big Show and Sheamus. This was a chairs match. It was a good match, man. There were numerous chair shots, all of them to the back. Did anybody notice that? There were no headshots with the chairs, man.
They were not allowed, yeah.
Right. For those unaware, that's not allowed in WWE because of concussions and everything else. But lots of chair shots to the back. Big Show eventually found a chair that was, you know, bigger than all the other ones. Came and hit Sheamus in the back and then pinned him with it.
The big giant chair. It's the same thing they do with ladder matches. Like, after a while, it's like, well, what else can you do with a ladder? How about we get a super huge ladder and have somebody jump off that? And the chairs match, it's like, well, you can't even hit him in the head with a chair. How much can we do with this chair? Oh, I got an idea. Let's get a big oversized chair, and that'll be the big shocking finish. Which,
exactly.
I don't know, it's kind of lame. It was almost like a cartoon chair. Like, it was just goofy.
Sheamus hit Big Show at one point with the white noise through 2 chairs, which was a pretty nasty spot. Big Show kicked out, and then Big Show hit Sheamus with the knockout punch, and Sheamus kicked out. So they both kicked out of each other's finishers, but in the end, like I said, Big Show got that gigantic chair.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't as good as their last pay-per-view match. They did the same thing, which is why the match was so good. They each, I think Sheamus hit the brogue kick and Show kicked out. Show hit the knockout punch and Sheamus kicked out, and that's why that match damn near stole that show. I think it was Hell in a Cell, I want to say, but
it was the one.
Yeah, they tried to do the same thing here.
It was the one before TLC. Was it Survivor Series or Hell in a Cell? I think you're right. Hell in a Cell, right? I think so.
I think so.
We had, this was the match, another filler match, basically. You have the Divas match in between the TLC and the World Title match, and then you had the 3MB match against Alberto Del Rio, The Miz, and it turned out to be Brooklyn Brawler. This was mostly comedy, man. Right before the main event, we had, and it wasn't that long, dude. It was a short match. Miz gave Jinder Mahal the skull-crushing finale, then tagged in the Brooklyn Brawler, and for the cheap pop in Brooklyn, applied the Brooklyn Crab, and that was that. And then
you see, they're gonna go with the Brooklyn Brawler for the cheap pop and to utilize the factor on Brooklyn, but they never do that for Zack Ryder when they're in his hometown. And let's not forget your boys in Crime Time. Look at the theme song, Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
I know.
Nothing.
You're right. You know, that's what I was thinking too, man, with the Brooklyn thing. JTG was on.
I mean, they had JTG on Raw jobbing out like a fucking nobody, which was I felt for you. I'm like, hey, there's Ryan's boy finally getting some TV time, and he don't get to walk to the ring. He's in a filler jobber match, and poor guy.
Well, when
on Twitter, bro.
When Brooklyn Brawler tagged in, they called it the Brooklyn Crab, and it's supposed to be the Boston Crab, you know what I mean? But you're in Brooklyn, so they did it that way. And then the main event, dude, it was a ladder match. Money in the Bank was on the line. I gotta tell you, man, I was surprised at the outcome. I thought there was no way that Dolph Ziggler was gonna retain that briefcase, and I had said it last week, man. The briefcase. I've been saying it for a couple weeks, man. No way Dolph Ziggler walks out of TLC with the briefcase, and he won. He wound up winning the match.
So yeah, I'm so pissed, though, because we did the predictions, and by the time we did the predictions, you had talked me into changing my pick, because I had been telling you all along, I don't think Ziggler is losing the briefcase. You're like, well, why would they do that? Because obviously Cena's winning. I'm like, well, maybe Cena doesn't win, because everybody's expecting it. But then, when we started saying, well, he'll have the briefcase, that way he can cash in to get the Rock and the CM Punk and all that shit, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense, but yeah, why would they do it? I changed my damn pick. I should have stuck with it.
The finish came, man. I mean, Cena hit the attitude adjustment, right? And he was about to climb the ladder, and Vicky Guerrero comes out. She's got a chair, and AJ comes out to make the save, right? And she did all of John Cena's moves. She did the 5-knuckle shuffle and the whatever else he does, right? Whatever she could do. So she comes out, does all his moves, and then as John Cena's climbing the ladder, AJ comes and pushes it over, and that got a huge pop. Because, listen, you're in New York City, right? Anywhere in the Northeast, people are going to shit all over John Cena. And so when she shoved him off the ladder, man, what a pop, dude. What a pop from that guy.
That's the funny part. WWE should have known that in advance and thought, okay, we're turning AJ heel here, but obviously this is going to get a huge babyface reaction, so it's not going to really fulfill the purpose that you're doing it for. Like, you're doing it to turn her heel, and yet it's going to be the biggest babyface reaction she's ever gotten, probably.
Right.
So it just doesn't make any sense. But the fact that I wasn't surprised, because I'll say last week on Raw, AJ had asked Cena if she could come out for his match. He told her no. Yeah. And then she ended up going crazy and like throwing that huge fit later on. And then during the pay-per-view, wasn't there a segment where she had asked Cena or something about coming out again? And I was like, well, okay. This is the heel turn, because obviously she's going to go crazy and cost him the match, and so I wasn't that shocked by it at all, actually.
Once it happened, I wasn't that shocked. I just thought they were going to play out the angle a little bit longer than what they did, where John Cena was going to shy away and try to get away from her, and then eventually AJ was going to say, you know what, fuck this, and go with somebody else or side with Ziggler, you know what I mean? I just expected it to play out a little bit later, or a little bit longer, But
go a little longer. Yeah, that would have been probably would have been smarter, but this is WWE. They rush everything.
So Ziggler wound up hitting a super kick on Cena, climbed the ladder, and retained the Money in the Bank briefcase, man. Not bad, right? Great show. Except for the Divas match and the 3MB, but they were fillers, you know what I mean? You got to expect that coming off, before the...
Even the Divas match, like you said, was a filler match. The Brooklyn Brawler thing was, A, something for the local crowd, and B, it was the comedy match of the show. It was the fun match of the show, as opposed to the serious matches. So I'd say top to bottom, it was damn near a perfect show. I mean, close to.
It was close too, man. It was one of WWE's best pay-per-views of the year, without a doubt. And I know we're in December, so it's tough to say that, but without a doubt, man. And then Monday Night Raw, man. Let's get into it. We got 13 minutes to get through this. Real quick, let me do the Slammy Awards. They had a WWE.com version, and they revealed those results during the pre-show at TLC. And then the main ones on Monday Night Raw, we had the Tell Me I Did Not Just See That, basically the most shocking moment of the year. This is where Booker T came out to present, right? And Boogeyman wound up coming. And that was, obviously, they had the Boogeyman return, and so Booker T can get his line, tell me.
Say his line. I love that line. I think it's underutilized, because it's so fucking funny when he says the first half of it. He says, I didn't see that. Yeah. Very calmly, I didn't see that. I remember when Bischoff finally debuted in WWE and walked back, went to walk to the ring, and it was a big surprise. Booker T was there. And as Bischoff walked by, he has that shocked look on his face. He says, I didn't see that. Yeah. It's so good. I love that line.
We had comeback of the year. This is good, man. Jerry Lawler returned after suffering a heart attack. That's obviously the clear winner. You know what I mean?
If that wouldn't have happened, Brock Lesnar would have been the obvious one. But because that happened, everybody was obviously voting for that.
Exactly. Well, not that it matters anyways. Come on, dude. Voting.
Well, I think some of them had to be legit, or they were just doing it to get that app downloaded. Because how many times did they plug how to fucking download that app? It was getting annoying. Like, Michael Cole's like, all right, on your goddamn iPhones, do this. And Lawler's like, on your Google Play fucking Android, do this. And like every award, they had to retell people, download the app this way and that way.
Right, yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, no, it got old after a while, dude. But they set a record, man. They set a record. They had, I think over 3 million. Here, I have the press release right here. They, let me see, it was a record-setting night for WWE. There were 151,000 downloads and more than 583,000 Slammy votes. Let's see. And then they list off the top, votes for the Slammy nominations. So we had that. Anyways, but they got a lot, man. It was basically, 500,000 people downloaded. Or actually, total app downloads now more than 3 million is what the WWE press release says. Alright, so the other ones were for Slammy Awards were... I lost my page.
Yeah, I know the one I want to talk about off the top of my head, and it's just a quick point. We'll skip to that one now. Then the hashtag of the year. Ryback won for Feed Me More, but one that surprised me that wasn't even nominated was Rock's Boots to Asses, because that trended worldwide, like outside of the WWE universe. Like, it just trended worldwide, and that wasn't even an option. I thought that was...
Rock got LOL moment of the year. The promo in Boston on John Cena.
Throwing shit in the water.
Right. That was promo or LOL moment of the year. And then we had Superstar of the Year. That was John Cena. I was kind of surprised. I would say Superstar of the Year. Not Ryback?
CM Punk.
No, well,
CM Punk or Ryback, yeah. But Cena would be the last one you'd pick. And Punk pointed it out in his promo. Like, yo, you just lost last night. You lost to fucking The Rock. You lost to, over and over, you lost this, you lost that. And they're like, A, it's bad to point out how much he's losing, but B, like, how can he be Superstar of the Year when every high-profile match he's in, he loses? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, it's WWE. The voting is so rigged. It would be, the 3 top choices, man, you'd have to put John Cena up there as he's your top guy for Superstar of the Year. But when I think Superstar of the Year, I'm thinking somebody that basically nobody knew about, right? It was basically a jobber and came so far and now is a main eventer. And that screams Ryback, or CM Punk,
well,
but CM Punk was
newcomer of the year. Like that's
you're right. You're right.
He wasn't known, and then he emerged on the scene. But
you know what? You're right.
Superstar of the year should be the top guy in the company. And who the hell had a bigger year than CM Punk this year? Nobody. I mean, nobody even came close.
Right, and especially with the title reign. You know what I mean? With the almost 400 days now, maybe over 400 days now. So yeah, you're right. And you know what? Newcomer of the year did go to Ryback. So that was the right choice there. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Hashtag of the year, we talked about this. It was Ryback again for Feed Me More. And then match of the year went to The Undertaker versus Triple H at WrestleMania 28. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's the right one. I mean, I thought they were going to give it to Cena Rock just because it was the big match, but obviously, if you combine how big a match was and how good it was, you have to go with Triple H Undertaker. That match was incredible.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think they're going to do they're going to do the Triple H versus Brock Lesnar rematch. I think they are going to do that at WrestleMania. We put that up on the website today. So, yeah, I know, but. And then what are they going to do with Lesnar when he returns? With Paul Heyman, being with CM Punk, That'll be interesting.
Well, put it this way. Let's say Lesnar doesn't re-sign. Triple H's not going to be making any full-time return. Lesnar might be gone after this. So neither guy is going to get anything out of this match, like, going forward. You know what I mean? So why not put somebody like a CM Punk in there, or somebody that can benefit, or something to where it matters going forward? This will be like a throwaway match. After it's over, neither guy's around anymore, so who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
You know what? When Triple H returned on Raw, didn't that haircut, it just screamed corporate, dude. He looked so corporate, man, when he came out,
You definitely look at him now like the new Vince McMahon. And that's what he wants, and that's what you're starting to get. And that's the whole reason you cut his hair. You can't be a CEO of a big-ass company and have a fucking, goddamn mullet or, whatever.
Exactly. It doesn't look right, dude. When I saw him on Raw, because that's the first time we've seen him live. I mean, photos have been put up online. You put them up on WZROnline.com. Cheap plug, right?
Yeah, TMZ had them. They were everywhere. Everybody's seen it, but that was the first time he appeared with it. And he made a joke about it, too.
God, you know what I did last night? I went to the WZROnline.com/photos page, right? And I extended the list of photos that you have put up. We've got thousands of photos, dude. Go back and look at all the work.
Funny.
Go back. Go back.
I swear to God, I just did that the other day too. Only I did it from inside the CMS with that big drop-down list where you can see the file names, and I was just scrolling through to see how long I've been doing it, and it's like yours are. I put dashes between each word, and you would just jumble the words together. So I see how many I've done versus how many you did, and however many I've done, you've done equally as many before I even got hired. So I think you're up to. I think it's 1,500 galleries, I want to say.
Is that what it is? Yeah. I can only fit 620 of them on the main page. I need to expand the page, dude, because the design gets fucked up. So I put up 620. But man, I mean, scroll down that page and look at all the fucking work you've done over the past. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to see how many galleries are up on WZROnline.com. It's nutty, man.
And it's a shame too. I got to start putting some of the older ones back up, because I was looking through just the file names, and I'm like, oh, I forgot, and I'm the one who did them, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about these. I wonder if people have even seen these, like new fans, if they even know these exist.
Right? You gotta bump them up a little bit, dude. Bump them up to the top. It's awesome, dude. There's so many galleries, man. That's what I said, man, with WZR Online. I said, yo, people want think about a pro wrestling fan, right? The male pro wrestling fan. They want the wrestling news, their backstage wrestling news, and they want to see hot photos of women or whatever else. You know what I mean? Whether it pertains to WWE, they just want hot women and backstage news, dude. And that's
absolutely. Yeah, you want your news, you want some kind of features so where you can have fun, and then you want to jerk off to the divas, because those are your fucking your like I remember when I was younger, Sunny and Stable, any pictures I could find online, I'd fucking hammer my dick before it was broken, still 7.5 inches, like it owed me money. I mean, it was just insane.
Yeah, how many people do you think sit there on WZROnline.com and fucking jack off, dude?
Jerk off? I'd say, let's put it this way. Out of the people who look at the galleries, just select it to that instead of your whole traffic. Just the traffic that views the galleries. I'd say about 5 to 10% of those people have jerked off to them at one point or another.
Oh, man, dude. Man, oh, man. So people sitting on WZROnline.com jerking off, dude? Get out of here.
Hey, man, the ads load, so, they might squirt on the fucking target
Come on, dude.
It's an ad for Target, and you have the big bullseye. Yeah, that's perfect.
If we could put some nude photos up, dude, I have nude photos all over there, but my advertisers would get pissed off at that, so I can't.
Yeah, I remember when the China thing came out, the sex tape photos, and I wanted to put those up because they had everything blacked out, and you were like, nah, I don't think the advertisers like that. I'm like, but everything's blacked out, and you're like, yeah, but it's too much. You're right.
That's what I'm saying, man. If I could put up the nude photos, whenever something comes out, like the Hulk Hogan sex tape or whatever, because that shit, I mean, listen, as people are always saying, the Hulk Hogan say, oh, nobody wants to see that, oh, that's gross. Yo, those posts are the top viewed posts on the website. So as crazy as it sounds, you motherfuckers all go. I guarantee you, 90% of you guys in the chat room right now went and watched that Hulk Hogan sex tape. Why? Not because you wanted to see Hulk Hogan having sex, but it was intriguing to you. There was something.
You want to see Hogan have sex. You're curious. Like, you brought this point up, I think on the radio, or maybe we were just talking as friends once. But you said, even though you said we're not friends, fuck you. But we were talking, I think it was on the air at one point, and you're like, if I don't know, throw a name out, John Cena, Triple H, one of the top guys. If a nude photo of that guy came out, it would be the most viewed thing on your site.
Whether you're a male,
I'd look at
whether
it.
you're
out of curiosity, like, I wonder what that looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder what Hogan looks like when he's getting down. There's curiosity.
It's intriguing, man. It's intriguing. When people would say, "Oh my God, a John Cena nude photo," I'd never see that. I guarantee you, if it said photo John Cena nude, it would be the highest viewed post, whether you're a male or a female, just because. It's intriguing. There's something, you know what I mean, dude? I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain it.
There's no explanation either. It's just curiosity. Like if Cena naked picture came out and then Kelly naked picture came out, I'd say they both get about the same amount of views.
And John Cena maybe even more, dude. John Cena maybe even more. Yeah, because he's
a bigger star and it would get more circulation on Google and shit like that. Yeah.
It sounds gay as fuck, man, but it's the way it works, man. It's intriguing, dude. There's something about it where you're like, I'm gonna see it. I don't want to click it, but I'm gonna click it because I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, it's just like it's almost gay not to like when you're in the showers at school or something and everybody's naked taking a shower, you don't plan to look at anybody's dick. But you don't avoid, like, if you happen to see a dick, you're like, oh shit, there's my buddy's penis swinging around while I'm there. Like, you don't seek out to look at it, but sometimes you take a peek.
Oh.
What was it, Seinfeld that they said, hey, we were at the shower, and it's the first time we've seen each other naked. And I think it was George said, I didn't look, I promise it. And he looked all fucking like homophobic about it. And Jerry's like, what, did you sneak a peek? And Kramer's like, of course I snuck a peek. Who wouldn't?
It's crazy. All right, get to our live chat room, WZROnline.com. /chat, WZROnline.com/chat. Get on over there. We have to take a commercial break. This is what we'll do in hour number 2. We're going to finish up Monday Night Raw. We're going to be taking your live phone calls and also the rapid fire segment.
So we want you to rapidly type in www.facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Once again, facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR. Once you get that top post, we'll ask for your rapid fire questions and comments. You simply put in a quick comment, keep it one line or less. Everybody else, don't answer the questions for them. That's the whole point, so we can talk about it on the air. Keep it brief. We'll get those amazing can in hour number 2. Facebook.com/Axl Rose. Ryan Clark WZR.
Axl Rose.
Guns N' Roses, Flash and Axl Rose.
I gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so do it up, Facebook.com. And by the way, you see, this is why we're so goddamn good. I said in hour number 2, we're going to be taking your live phone calls, we're going to be finishing up Monday Night Raw, and we're going to do the rapid fire segment. And without any hesitation, Boone jumps in and says, and for that rapid fire segment, you can go to Facebook.com. See how it's...
I actually did it better than that. I said, we want you to rapidly type in www. I blended the plug in the name of the gimmick, you see. It was beautiful.
But you jumped right in, there was no pause or anything like that. It's bang. That's flow, baby. That's flow. You know what I'm saying?
That's fucking on-air chemistry, man. That's why 1 day a week for 2 hours set ratings and traffic records, because Matt fucking Boone is live and in color on the radio.
Yeah, okay.
True story.
True story. Okay, if you say so. All right, you're listening to WZR Radio with Matt Boone and Ryan Clark. We'll be back right after this. I'm going to be taking your live phone calls, doing the rapid fire segment. We've also got our live chat room on and in progress right now. WZROnline.com/chat. WZROnline.com /chat. Get there. Lots and lots of people in there tonight. We're here on Thursday this week, as we had originally planned to be here yesterday. Made a big mistake last week. It's basically WWE week on the USA Network. You had Monday Night Raw on Monday. You had the live SmackDown on Tuesday. I forgot about Tribute to the Troops, which aired last night. We got TNA Impact ongoing right now. James Storm just came out, made the save. Christopher Daniels and Kazarian were out there making fun of Santa Claus. James Storm out here now. Basically, Santa Claus is laid out in the ring. James Storm throwing some presents. But I figured the best, night to do it was the night that Impact is on. You know what I mean? We had tomorrow night's Friday.
Yeah, no matter what day we picked, we're going to be facing something. So we had to pick the best day. I do got a note. I should be fine, but the fucking battery on this thing might die. Something's wrong with my phone to the point where you plug the charger into it, right? But if you got the little cord that goes into the phone that goes into the spot. If you don't, you got to lean a certain way to get it to even charge. And if you touch the phone even a little bit, it stops charging. So it's got to be set up perfectly. And you should have seen the fucking hissy fit I threw earlier trying to get it positioned right to charge. Because when I finally turned my phone on, the phone was completely dead. Trying to get it to charge, it would just shut off on me before I could even get the charger set up right. So now the batteries, I don't know, it's just a green bar. You can't tell how much is left, but it looks like it's halfway gone, and it was 100% when we started, so I don't know. It should be all right, but I don't know, just in case.
Cool story, bro.
No, it's fucking aggravating. You have no idea. Nothing's going right. My fucking last week trying to do the show from the car, and the goddamn guy sitting next to me humming song. I told him I'm on the radio, gotta be quiet, and he's over there going humming shit. I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? Do you need to hum out loud? Hum in your head. Jesus Christ. If you have to talk, I understand. If you can't help it, don't fucking just stand hum. That's just rude.
Wah, motherfucker, wah.
Yeah, it's a laugh fest like you wouldn't believe, man. I was supposed to be fucking gone by today already, and that fucking got screwed up. Nothing's going right. Bah humbug.
Bah humbug and a big wah. Get out of here, dude.
You mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, you big pussy, dude. That was quite the rant right there, dude. He kind of went off on a tangent.
Dude, you have no idea how much fucking violent anger I'm holding in right now.
Yeah?
I'm gonna end up killing someone.
You want to fight?
Let's fight.
Yeah? You ain't got a shot, motherfucker. You know that. Anyways. Alright. So Monday Night Raw. We did the Slammy Awards, dude. And, Boogeyman returned, like we said, for the, oh my god, or shocking moment of the year, right? So that was whatever, dude. Boogeyman. The New Age Outlaws, they came back, right, to present Comeback of the Year. It was cool to see them. They did their whole thing. At least Road Dogg did, and then Billy Gunn never followed it up with the, I thought what was going to happen is when Jerry Lawler came up on stage to, give his little speech and then go back to the commentary booth, Billy Gunn would come back to the podium and say, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you, And
well, they censored him, because if you noticed, when Road Dogg first came out, oh, you didn't know? He's supposed to say, your ass better call. He didn't say ass. He said, you better call somebody. But then later in the show, I heard ass 100 different times. So I don't know why they made him censor the ass part. So maybe they censored Chuck It too. Who knows? They pick and choose what they censor these days. One week you got a midget having a threesome with a fucking giant and a chick, and the next week you can't say the word ass.
Right, well, you had AJ out there making out with Dolph Ziggler again, They
were practically having sex. Did you see that? My God.
I know.
It's hot, dude. AJ's so fucking hot. God damn, she's hot.
She is a
little
hottie.
Tiny-ass body.
Yeah, she definitely is a hottie, dude. There's no doubt about that, man. Oksana, too,
she's the company whore on TV, too. They show, what was it, Kiss of the Year, whatever that award was. She was the only nominee for all of them. So you get reminded of all the fucking guys she's been making out with, and then she makes out with Ziggler, and just made out with Cena recently, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and all these fucking guys. Like, Jesus Christ, what a whore.
Yeah, he called her the company whore.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that Kelly slam last I thought, but I guess AJ's taking it down.
But dude, come on, it's not like they're out there having legit sex, dude. It's a kiss, you know what I'm saying, dude? I mean,
I know,
come on,
it just makes her look like a whore is what I'm saying. Like, just the fact that she's doing all this physical shit, and then they do a video package where it's nothing but her basically slutting herself around and shit. It was just, I don't know, a little note I took in my head.
And then, I mean, listen, so we had all these returns, right, on Monday Night Raw, and we had the return of this man right here. Hey! What overall, dude? I mean, I told you because Boone wasn't watching Raw. I know you went back and you watched it or you downloaded it, but I told you. I said, you know, Ric Flair is coming out right now, and you said, "No, are you serious, man?" And I said, "Yeah." And then after the segment was over, you know, you said, you know, I got to go back. I got to see that Ric Flair's return to WWE, and I said, dude, it was good, but it wasn't all that.
Dude, that's the perfect description. You're right. It wasn't all that. Like, I was expecting, how could it be bad? You said it's Ric Flair. CM Punk and him are going back and forth. The Shield, like, all these people are involved. Like, it can't be bad. When I watched it, I wouldn't say it wasn't bad at all. It was good, but it wasn't great. Like, Ric Flair was a little off his game. CM Punk, I think lately CM Punk's been a little off his game every week when it comes to promos. But I don't know. There wasn't that magic Ric Flair feel to it or whatever. You know, I don't know how to word it right, but yeah, well, it wasn't as good as I expected. Let's put it that way. And it was a nice long segment with Ric Flair, and you think it can't be bad, but yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Let's play a little bit of the interaction between Ric Flair and CM Punk from Monday Night's Raw. Let's see what we got.
Completely ridiculous on multiple levels. I mean, there's so many things going through my head right now. This doesn't belong to you. You haven't even been here in the past calendar year, and the fact that anybody even voted for John Cena to be Superstar of the Year is absolutely atrocious. This is possibly the worst year of John Cena's life. He got beat by a guy that I'm going to decimate at the Royal Rumble. I beat him at SummerSlam. He lost last night. He's the first superstar to cash in his Money in the Bank contract and lose. He's a loser like everybody in Philadelphia, and he's a loser like you.
He was good right there. He's good.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
Michaels talk about how all he ever wanted to do was grow up and be Ric Flair. Look at me, Flair. I never wanted to be you. I never wanted to be anybody but me, and I did it. And last year, I was Superstar of the Year. That means this year, I'm Superstar of the Year. I've been WWE Champion for 393 days. 393 days! I'm the man! Not John Cena, and not you! I'm the man!
He was good there, man. He was Punk was on his
game. I thought you were going to play something of Flair's. I mean, that was the same segment, but I didn't hear a word from Flair. One thing I also forgot to mention.
Now watch this. It's still playing. Hold on. He says, "You want to know what time it is?" And he says, "I got diamonds on my Rolex." Was Flair drunk, man? Did he seem a little bit drunk to you? Listen to this.
What time it is?
He seemed a little old.
The diamonds on this Rolex make it kind of blocky for me. I don't think so. I think it's time for you to go, brother. This is Philadelphia. We're going to rock and roll tonight, man. And you can't even walk. You can't even walk. Besides that, you got enough baggage with you, brother. You couldn't walk a block. Happy you. How's he getting around? With one leg, I could still kick your ass. Philadelphia, should we handle this? Let's handle it. Let's, as Shawn Michaels say, let's you and me. Let's do it.
As Shawn Michaels would say, let's you and me, let's do it. What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. He's such a mark for Michaels and Triple H ever since he went to WWE and Cena. Yeah.
He said, as Shawn Michaels would say, let's do it. Okay.
Yeah, nobody else has ever said that. He invented that phrase. I didn't want to do that. What did you think of? You got to give the update to everybody about the TNA lawsuit and how that works into this, the fact that Flair hasn't signed, all this and that. But before all that, I got to get your opinion. What did you think about how they actually brought him out? Because if you remember, it wasn't a surprise his music hits. Oh, shit, there's Flair. It was before they go to commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair backstage, not on camera, but on microphone. I forget what he said, but it was like, it let everybody know he was coming out next. And I was like, why would they do it?
No,
they killed the whole surprise return by having him talk.
I gotta be honest with you. I thought it was a tease. And Ric Flair wasn't gonna come out when they came back from the break. Yeah, I didn't think Flair was gonna come out, man. Maybe I would have thought the same thing, but I had already known from talking to you that he came out. So I was like, why the hell would they ruin the surprise by having him talk before they even see him? All right, here's the reason behind that. Here's what happened with Rick. They kept him a surprise. They kept him. He arrived to the arena and they immediately took him to a trailer in the back. Kept him hidden from all the talents, and the idea was they, promoted that. What did he present? Superstar of the Year is what he presented. Yeah. So the idea was to give the fans a tease by saying, coming up next, Superstar of the Year, woo! And then you hear Ric Flair. The idea was they wanted everybody to go out and get on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and say, oh my God, did I just hear Ric Flair on Monday Night Raw? Is he coming up next after the commercial break? The idea behind that was everybody was to go out and do that and say that, and then people would wind up tuning in. And about 600,000...
Yeah, that's why they took the commercial before. Yeah, it's exactly why they did it, was to get people talking. Like the old days, you'd get on the phone, oh, you got to turn USA on, look what's happening, give people a chance to tune in. Like if I had TV, I would have tuned in when you told me that, but yeah, I had another point.
I
don't know.
And then not only that, but they spread the Ric Flair. I mean, basically what happened is exactly what WWE wanted. A lot of fans went out to social media and said, oh my God, Ric Flair is coming to Raw. He's going to be up next. And then for the next, I think it was 27 minutes, they had Ric Flair. They went to a couple of different commercial breaks, and the idea behind taking a commercial break was Ric Flair is still out there. He's still in the ring. What's going to happen when they come back from commercial break? So when they would come back, Ric Flair would go into the next scripted segment that they had planned. And then, if you look at the quarter-hour ratings, which is every 15 minutes for Monday Night Raw, Ric Flair, the return drew about 600,000 people into the program. So everything they did worked. It was basically get fans talking on social media, then bring Ric Flair out, do the one segment with John Cena, come back, have CM Punk come out, come back again, have the Shield attacking Flair. You know what I mean? And they spread it out.
I've been nervous about football because they threw everything they could out there right at 9 o'clock when, like you said, they even teased it before 9, so nobody would change the channel and everybody would tune in. So yeah, and he was two or three quarter hours, and the numbers were good, and everything was good. What do you think about after all it was over and they were backstage and it was Kane, Daniel Bryan, and Flair, and they're doing yes, no, woo.
Yeah.
Yes, no, woo, woo. I was saying, these fucking guys, man.
Yeah, and then they had Ron Simmons come up. That was another guy who returned on Raw.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Right? He did the damn thing. So that was kind of cool, man.
Yeah.
It was corny, dude, but it was cool. It was a moment, you know what I mean?
It was a good kind of corny.
What else happened on Raw? I'm trying to get to the big stuff, you know what I mean? I guess that's about it, right?
Shield, there was something with the Shield again.
Well, they attacked Ric Flair, and then in the main event of Raw, you had the mixed tag team match, and that basically turned into a one-on-one. It was basically a rematch without the ladders, where Dolph Ziggler, right, AJ and Vicky Guerrero both wound up walking out on the match, and then Big E Langston. We got to talk about him. He's another call-up from NXT. He came out. A lot of people on Twitter thought that was Ezekiel Jackson. God, say that fast. Ezekiel Jackson.
Ezekiel, yeah.
He comes out, or he didn't come out. Big E Langston came out and attacked John Cena. And, the show end where AJ was skipping around in the ring. And I didn't see the live SmackDown. Actually, I caught the end of the live SmackDown on Tuesday night where Big E Langston came out again. And, I guess that's AJ's next, or new man, you know what I mean? She and Big E Langston are the next big things. But you got to give it up to WWE for, they're bringing these guys up from developmental, from NXT, right? And the Shield, they immediately put them into a main event program with CM Punk is how it began, right? Same thing with this Big E Langston guy. They immediately put him into a main event feud. And I like it. That's the way to bring somebody in. You put them in a major feud or a main event storyline, and it immediately gets them over, or it gets people talking because it's a main event feud. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's like, Triple H is in charge of developmental now, and he's taking it a lot more serious. And like you said, they bring in the Shield. Triple H is high on Ambrose and the Shield, so of course they're going to get over, or they're going to get a chance to get over because they're going to get used right, as opposed to like Zack Ryder or somebody. But yeah, and then you got Ryback as a new fresh face, Big E Langston, the Shield, like all these guys, like really a new era getting ushered in. And it's almost like the old days because for a while their developmental had fallen apart. Like WWE didn't even really have a developmental. They got rid of Ohio Valley Wrestling, and then they did FCW for a while. They got rid of that. Now Triple H is in charge of it. They're taking it serious again. But back in the day when Jim Ross and Jim Cornette kind of created that developmental system, you had guys like Kane coming in, who was really just Isaac Yankem, a fucking wrestling dentist from the old days with Jerry Lawler.
Hey, let me cut you off. Let me cut you off real quick. I'm going through my email right now, right? And I get an email from Debbie from Rose Dental. Dear Ryan, you have an office visit scheduled for 12/21/2012 at 10:30 a.m. Man, I forgot. I had a dental appointment tomorrow.
Well, let me respond to that with this. I know you didn't just cut me off to tell me about your dental appointment.
No, you were talking about dental. You said dentist, and I said I'm going through my email right now, and I got to go to the dentist tomorrow morning. Man, I forgot. Well, why? It sucks, dude.
Why?
It's a big one.
No. Tomorrow the world will be over, so you don't have to go.
Ah, that's right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
But no, my point was Isaac Yankem. So Kane wasn't a new guy; he was just repackaged. But they immediately put him in as the Undertaker's brother, so he's immediately a main eventer.
Right.
Kurt Angle come in; he's immediately a main event. Like all these guys come in, and they're immediate stars, or they're being pushed to have the opportunity to be immediate stars as they get over. And that went away for the longest time, and now it's kind of back with the guys you just mentioned, the Shield and Ryback and Big E Langston. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, I see Rygow in the chat room. He was asking earlier. He said, talk about the ROH Final Battle pay-per-view in New York City. God, I missed going down there, man. I had the TLC pay-per-view, so I couldn't go down. You know what I mean? But we talked about it, man.
You could have went down and let me do your play. I could have done your work for you, and you could have went. But
you're not as... Play-by-play, I got to be here. But, no, it was an awesome pay-per-view, man. We talked about the spot at the end with El Generico and Kevin Steen. But BJ Whitmer, oh, man. Good lord, I mean, that bump was nasty, too, man. God, he's lucky he's not dead. He was on the top rope, and who was he in a match with, Rygow? It was BJ Whitmer, and somebody else. Yeah, who was he in a match with? He came off the top rope, dude, and guy did a suplex off the top rope.
It was Austin Benjamin, he says?
Was it a tag team match? Yeah, I think it might have been a tag team match. But did a suplex off the top rope, and there was a table. And he went through the table head first. Dude, I'm telling you, the table broke. Head first through a table, dude.
His head broke a table.
His head broke a table, dude. He couldn't get a full turnaround on his body, and went head first through the table. It was disgusting, man. Oh, it was such a nasty spot.
Yeah, that's saying a lot that your head could break a table. Because, like, for example, I don't know if it was TLC or Raw, but Ryback, I think it was Ryback, press slammed somebody onto the announce table and it didn't break. Like, and it was his whole body, you know what I mean? So for his head to break a table, that's got to be a fucking hard Jesus, that got hurt.
Well, he tried to roll all the way around while he was in midair, dude. Couldn't calculate it right, and man, just went head and neck first through the table. It was nasty, man. All right, so
one other thing about Raw though, what do you think about Tenzai being used as a fucking buffoon? Like he had to do the Shockmaster thing where he fell on his face, and then he had the big fucking thing taped on his head, and he's being treated like a jerk off by Santino, and then who do you have a match with? He got squashed in a match, like in like fucking 10 seconds. Like he is nobody already, like just completely nobody.
You're talking who?
Tenzai.
Oh my God, I know, dude. And they had promised him, man. People forget he was a megastar over in New Japan as Giant Bernard, right? And they bring him into WWE. He was supposed to remember the vignettes that they aired for him, that he was coming back, and they hyped him up big time. They had promised him a main event feud with John Cena. He came in, and they completely have jobbed him out, man, ever since then. You know, he's another one that you're a major star over in New Japan. You sign with WWE, and he comes in and he just jobs out time and time again. You think he's happy?
Well,
you think he's happy?
A major star, but the way you said Tenzai had that big video introduction before he came, and then he was nobody. Like Brodus Clay was being built as this killer in these videos, and everybody, oh man, Brodus Clay. And then he comes out and he's dancing. He's a fucking retard. Like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes you get a good one like Ryback. Sometimes you get a Tenzai. So
but do you think a guy like Tenzai, I mean, a guy like that can't be happy, man? You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. Guy has promised all these things when he comes to WWE. He's going to be a headliner. He's going to be a main event. They're going to hype him up huge. And then he comes over and gets screwed. And he was making good money out in New Japan, so why come back, you know? I mean, the poor guy has just got to be...
back because you get told you're going to be a main eventer. I mean, I could see why, but then once they screwed him over, it's like, oh, that poor son of a bitch fell for it. Like,
well, and not it is too.
Look at him. He doesn't look like a star. They're going to try and make him a Japanese guy. Like, it was just
right.
all wrong. And even if it wasn't, like, he's not a guy that's a great worker. He's a big fat guy. He's old and washed up, and he was, like Mark Henry, like one of those kind of guys that'll never be anything no matter what they do with him. He's just. I don't know why anybody thought he would get over as a main eventer. It just wasn't going to happen.
And a guy like that, you know, like you said, he's promised all these things, and then he signs a contract, and as soon as he signs on the dotted line, you're fucked, man. WWE can do whatever they want with you, man, as long as you're signed to a WWE contract. And now he's got to be thinking to himself, you know what? When my contract expires, I'm out of here, man. I'm going back to New Japan, and I'm going to be a headliner there. You know what I mean?
Because he doesn't have to travel nearly as much in New Japan. He doesn't have to work the same crazy schedule. He gets to be treated serious, make great money doing a lot less work. It's just, there's no reason not to leave when his contract's up, but you never know. Sometimes people need to be stars in America. It's not the same as being a star in a foreign country, so who knows? We'll see what happens.
Real quick before we move on from Monday Night Raw, Ric Flair, the deal here is, I've been saying it week after week here, everybody always says, what about TNA talents coming over from WWE, and, what is that knock? You hear that? Huh. Some knocking outside. At the WWE versus TNA, or TNA versus WWE lawsuit, the deal with Ric Flair is, and this is how WWE got around the lawsuit by using Ric Flair. Ric Flair is not under contract with WWE. It was basically built up as a one-time special appearance deal. Eventually, Ric Flair is going to be back in WWE, and there are going to be plans to continue to use him. But as of right now, he's not under contract. WWE's feeling is they're not going to sign anybody from TNA. They're not going to put him under contract until the lawsuit is over. That's why you haven't seen guys like... Matt Morgan came back and wound up returning to TNA, but Alex Shelley hasn't been over from TNA yet, and they do want him. But the idea here is if they're not under contract, WWE can go in and say, well, wait a minute, we don't have these guys under contract. We simply use them as they're no longer under contract with TNA, so why can't we use them for special appearance type deals? And that's why Ric Flair is not under contract and probably won't be under WWE contract until the TNA versus WWE lawsuit is over. They're not going to sign these guys or put them under contract as it would make them look bad in court. But the idea would be to use them as special appearances only. So there you have
and
it.
they've been doing a lot of those, like cameos and shit the last couple of months. Like just, here's this guy from the past back for, 1 week only, and he was. It seemed like he was just another one. Like that's what I got when I watched it. But I guess when they can sign him, they will. Is that what you're saying?
Right. I think, there's been no movement on the TNA versus WWE lawsuit, but in 2013...
When is that lawsuit over anyway? I don't even remember. It's been so long.
When is it over? It's over when the courts...
Yeah,
It's over when the courts want it to be over, pretty much.
No, not when is it completed. What is it about? What is the lawsuit about?
Oh, TNA had a guy, Brian. I don't have his name or last name off the top of my head, but Brian something used to work for TNA, wound up signing with WWE, left TNA, signed with WWE. The TNA claims that he gave WWE inside information on TNA contracts that were expiring, so that WWE would then go and reach out to these TNA talents and say, hey, we want you, so when your contract with TNA is up, we want to sign you. So he was basically giving them inside information on TNA. And that's what TNA claims. So, but there's been no movement on that lawsuit over the past month or two, or actually the past few months. So in 2013, they're eventually going to wind up in court, lawyers for both WWE and TNA. And we'll see how it winds up and eventually. But it's been a couple months now, and the judicial system is so slow with everything. It takes months and months and months to get through a lawsuit, and that's what's happening here. So there you have it.
Well, I'm sure in the end it'll either get thrown out or settled out of court. It'll be pointless in the end. It's weird, like something that small could cause such a huge problem. Like they can't get Flair and these guys because one guy, nobody that we can't even remember the name of, said this is what's going on with these guys' contract. Like something that small could have that big of an effect for that long of a period of time. It's weird.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. We'll get into the rapid fire segment. If you guys want to call up, we'll mix this up. A rapid fire segment and live phone calls. The number is 518-712-3070. 518-712-3070. Give us a call right now.
The first rapid fire question comes from Matt Boone, and it says, Ryan Clark, what do you think about next week's UFC main event between Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez for the UFC heavyweight title? Big rematch. Who are you picking to win?
Man, oh man. That's a tough one, dude. That's a tough one.
Ain't it?
That's real tough one. God, I don't know. Let's ask the caller, and then I'll give mine.
Right.
Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Yeah, this is Kevin from Arkansas. I'd like to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Stay safe, buddies.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, brother. No doubt. What a nice guy, man. What a nice guy, man. Calls up Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you too, my man. WZROnline.com. /chat, WZROnline.com/chat. Once again, you guys can call us. It's 518-712-3070. He hung up right away, so I couldn't ask him. Well, that's this guy. Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, wasn't the whole lawsuit caused by Ric Flair coming to WrestleMania, and now he's back again? Doesn't that make them look even worse?
Ric Flair coming to WrestleMania?
For the Hall of Fame.
Oh, for the Hall of Fame? No. WWE and TNA had an agreement for Ric Flair. TNA allowed Ric Flair, when he was under contract, to attend the Hall of Fame. And then, remember when Christian? There was a deal with Christian where he would show up at the, I think it was the Bound for Glory, or it was either going to be Bound for Glory, the Hall of Fame that TNA did, or they were going to do something DVD-wise. They had an agreement in place for that. The thing with Ric Flair now returning has to do with the lawsuit, and that's why he's not under contract. Same thing with Alex Shelley, and there's somebody else that I'm forgetting in TNA. Let me ask you a question before I let you go. Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez next week, UFC. Who you got?
Dos Santos.
Dos Santos, all right. I'm gonna agree with him, man. Dos Santos.
That's a safe bet. He's the favorite, but yeah, that's a tough. Because the first fight, you couldn't, it was a one-punch knockout. It was only 60 seconds long, so you didn't get to really see who's the better fighter. It was just one punch. So what's going to happen this time, I don't know. But Dos Santos, yeah, I pick him too.
Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Matt? What's going on, Ryan?
How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm good. Hey, I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. And maybe they did on Raw and I missed it, but were you guys surprised that they didn't make any mention or at least put something on screen in the beginning about what happened in Connecticut or make any mention of it?
They did it at TLC. They did the 10 bell salute and everything like that. So yeah, they did it at the pay-per-view as opposed to Raw.
Yeah, they opened, TLC opened up, it was a 26 bell salute where they rang the bell. Yeah, they rang the bell 26 times. Lillian Garcia was out there. I believe it was her. Was it Lillian? Yeah, I think so. Who opened up TLC. So they did it there, which was a nice moment, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't see the pay-per-view, and I read what you put on WZR about Vince maybe being a little bit worried that because if they're in Connecticut and he's trying to make the program, fan-friendly because they're in Connecticut.
Well,
yeah. Promoting violence.
Yeah, Stamford is only about a half an hour drive from Newtown, Connecticut, where the shooting took place, and people as soon as the tragedy happens, especially when you're only 30 minutes away from where the shooting actually took place, people immediately, they turn to UFC and they turn to video games, turn to WWE and say, well, you guys, you have a lot of children that watch this program and you're all about violence, and so far that hasn't happened for WWE. They haven't received any negative press. Yeah. That's not to say
Can you imagine if Linda had won the Senate in Connecticut and this was like her first fucking thing to deal with? My God. Yeah, like you said, the criticism could come down about the violent WWE product, which is aimed towards children, and that could have been a catastrophe.
You bring up Linda McMahon. Chris Murphy actually came down to Newtown, Connecticut, and was at the press conference. The sheriff was holding, news briefings, and he had all the politicians behind him, and Chris Murphy, senator, the guy that defeated Linda McMahon, was standing right behind him and issued a statement right after it happened. So it's pretty crazy, man. Have a good holiday, buddy. I appreciate the support, man.
All right, guys, take it easy and stay safe. Enjoy your holiday.
All right, you too, buddy. That's a diehard caller, man. He calls in all the time. You guys call us up 518-712-3070. Tommy Mahesh, any chance you can get Jimmy Wang Yang on the phone one day? I don't talk to him, but I can see if some of the people I do talk to can.
Does he speak English?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think we've seen promos from him before.
I think I was thinking of Funaki. I think I was confusing the two.
Justin Nesser, 7.5 inches, and what will they do with Vicky and Dolph? And thoughts on Del Rio's face turn. Vicky Guerrero.
What do you think of Dolph telling Vicky that she's fat and ugly on Raw? I thought that was harsh as shit, man.
Well, it almost seemed like they wanted, it was like a subtle Vicky Guerrero face turn, but there's no way that they're ever going to be able to turn Vicky Guerrero face. No way.
Especially off the back of Ziggler, who the fans love so much, and they're not allowed to love it. Like, it's just the exact opposite of what they would, Well, we want Vicky to be a babyface and Ziggler to be the heel, and the crowd's like, no, we like Ziggler and we hate Vicky. We're not going to cheer for, it's just not going to work.
No matter what you do with Vicky Guerrero, you know what I was thinking? Vicky Guerrero is, senior supervisor of Monday Night Raw or something like that, man. What about having, Ric Flair come in and take over for her? You know what I mean? Get rid of her, take her out of that role, and that would be the perfect role for somebody like Rick.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That's the perfect way to, if he's not going to wrestle, which I don't think Vince wants to because they had that big retirement, big send-off, and I think they don't ever want him to wrestle in the ring again. They didn't even want him to get physical. He got real physical on Monday, but
he took
them would be to
on Monday
to let him run the show because they had to talk all the time.
On Monday afternoon, when they flew Rick into Philadelphia, where Monday Night Raw was, they had him do a series of tests, man. They took him, physicals and things like that to make sure that he was going to be okay to partake in, the physical stuff that he did with the Shield on Raw. So.
Yeah, because of Lawler, who he shouted out, too. I thought that was a nice little thing from him. Enough time's passed that a lot of people don't think about Lawler and the heart attack anymore. Flair was like, hey, man, they're never getting rid of me and you,
Yeah. Joseph Ricardo, whatever happened to Fandago or Fandagu? Fandango. Is that what it is? Fandango.
I think so.
It was going to be a role for Johnny Curtis. They started airing the vignettes, and we just put this up on the website today, man. It's on WZROnline.com. That is now on hold. The reason for it is unknown, but they have stopped with the videos and the vignettes that they had been airing, and that is now on hold. You know, they just brought up the Shield too, and they brought up Big E Langston, so it may be a case of we went in another direction, called up some other new people from developmental. Not that Johnny Curtis is at television tapings, and has appeared, you know, on Santino Marella's web show that he does, the YouTube.com. But they are on hold. Plans are on hold for him.
Yeah, in a situation like that, like Fandango, the gimmick, you could tell is never going to be a main event gimmick, but at the same time, you can't have too many new guys coming in at the same time, because when a new guy comes in, it's like, oh, it's fresh and new, this is a new guy. But if you have a bunch of new guys come in all at once, it kind of loses its impact. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the same oomph to it.
Exactly. Too many at one time is not a good thing. Guys, give us a call. It's 518-712-3070. We're taking rapid fire segments, Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR, rapid fire questions. Jordan the Champ, Paveo. What's going on with Jack Swagger? The last time we saw Swagger, they took him off television. They were going to repackage him. They were going to bring him back with a new gimmick, and we don't know. We don't have any updates, unless you know something.
I don't know anything. I'd heard that they were going to bring him back as a, repackage, like you said, different look, different character, but I don't know. Maybe that got put on hold too, because I haven't heard shit.
It's a good question, Jordan. We'll see what happens. Coltar, Cool Dip Man. What match are the two of you wanting to see most at WrestleMania? Well, we don't know the WrestleMania 29 matches yet, but what match would we like to see? I would say Brock versus Rock is kind of what I want to see. Build that up, man. But Rock would murk him on the microphone going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, that would be the beauty of it too. But and they've done Brock Rock at SummerSlam. That's when Brock won the title for the first time. But Brock Undertaker's the one that they got to do, and I don't think they're gonna do it, which is so stupid. But that would be the one that I'd be like, holy shit, man, because you get the feeling that these two really don't like each other. And Brock's a legit badass in UFC. Undertaker's famous for being a legit badass, and it would be one of those where you watch it real close, like, are there going to be a lot of potatoes being thrown? Is it going to be real stiff? And, like, are they going to shoot on each other at any point? It would be one of those kind of things because of that famous video where, hey, you want to do it? You want to go? Or whatever Taker said at that UFC. So,
you're right.
Yeah, that's the one that got to do, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah, that would be, you're right. I wasn't thinking about that. And not only that, but somebody, Apex Predator 113 in the chat, CM Punk against Undertaker. They could do a streak versus streak, WWE title reign against, Taker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, something like that. That'd be kind of cool to see as well. Triple H versus Brock.
Those are the two that it would have to be Punk or Brock against Taker. Anybody else is going to be, who cares? Because Triple H, you could, when Shawn Michaels put his career up, the last couple of years they get you convinced, like, well, maybe this is the one Taker loses, and there's nobody they can put in there within this year where people are going to think maybe this is the one Taker loses, except Punk with the streak or Brock being, the UFC, whatever. So, yeah, anybody else is going to be like, well, Taker's beating them, obviously, and you're not even going to convince people otherwise.
Here's another one we're going to have to think about, man. Brandon Dub Blevins. So who's your pick on winning the Royal Rumble next month in January? Royal Rumble winner. Shit. We've already got Ziggler as, Money in the Bank, so we can rule him out. I'd say Ryback, maybe?
I'd say it depends. It's hard to say because we don't know what's going on with The Rock yet. If it's Rock and Punk, then Cena's going to win the Rumble so that he can get the shot. But maybe they have the guy winning the Rumble go after the world title instead. It's hard to say without knowing what the plans are so far. But I think Cena would be the likely option. Yeah,
and everybody in the chat room, Super Cena is what everybody calls him. You know what I mean? Everybody's saying Cena, and that's their top guy. So it wouldn't shock me to see it. But like you said, it all depends on what they're gonna do with. Well, we know that Rock and CM Punk is confirmed for the Royal Rumble, right? CM Punk's WWE champion. Rock said he was coming back, and they're already hyping that up. So that leaves John Cena.
So Rock definitely wins the title. then he goes to WrestleMania with the title. Do they do a Punk Rock rematch, or do they do the Cena?
Well, I don't know though. I don't know. You say that, you know, like it's confirmed that Rock comes in. CM Punk's title reign ends like that to a guy like The Rock. I don't know if CM Punk's going to be a fan of that. We know CM Punk, you know, he's an outspoken guy. And, you know, a guy like The Rock coming back who's not there full time, why have The Rock end CM Punk's streak? It doesn't do anything for the company. The guy that ends CM Punk's streak, there's going to be an angle there, man, for some time to come. And The Rock's not there full time. So I don't know that, you know, Rock wins the title at the Royal Rumble. I don't know that it's set in stone like that.
Well, first of all, he absolutely wins the title at the Royal Rumble. It's a matter of who he's facing at WrestleMania after that.
Really?
Would say,
wait a minute.
Cena, how can you justify Cena getting a title match? He didn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he's been losing like crazy, like Mark pointed out. So the only way he can get a title match at this point would be to win the Rumble and automatically get the shot.
I think you're nuts, dude. You're that set that CM Punk's title reign just like that at the Royal Rumble comes to an end. The 400 and something days, just like that. Boom, it's over.
Yep.
To The Rock.
Absolutely. Yep, that's the way it ends.
Wow. Wow. I think you're crazy, man. I don't...
I'll put money on. I mean, we make bets that you never pay off, but I'd bet any amount you want. Rock wins the title.
What do you guys think? Does The Rock come in, you know, a part-time guy? Does he come in at the Royal Rumble and all of a sudden CM Punk's title reign is over just like that at the hands of The Rock? I think CM Punk, the guy that defeats CM Punk, you know, for the title, you know, if they do CM Punk versus Taker at WrestleMania, I would say Taker's streak is going to continue, and then Taker has a short run with the title, but he would be the guy. I don't know, man. I don't think The Rock comes into the Royal Rumble and it ends just like that, man.
Put it this way. I agree with you that whoever beats Punk and ends the streak, his title streak, should be somebody that is going to be there and it can mean something. And the Taker thing would be perfect. The WrestleMania streak versus the title streak, but Rock's winning the title at Rumble, so, you know, it doesn't matter.
I disagree completely. I think CM Punk retains at the Royal Rumble. There may be a controversial finish where CM Punk retains somehow, and then they continue the program and maybe do a rematch at WrestleMania between CM Punk and The Rock for the title.
Well, then you're saying The Rock wins the title at WrestleMania, which means he's got to stick around for more matches after Mania, and that's not
right.
That's not the same.
Well, they could do a three-way or something at WrestleMania and somebody else takes the title. I don't think Rock is going to be WWE champion. Like somebody in the chat room, Tyler95, said the problem is house shows. Rock's not going to work house shows, and you need your WWE champion. You need a WWE title match to headline house shows, and that's one of WWE's main pet peeves, is you need the title to be defended on a house show. I think Rock comes back, may get a win here or there, but somehow CM Punk winds up retaining. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to have to agree to disagree.
All right.
I mean, Punk's not working house shows right now, and he's champion. But, I mean, you could have...
Yeah, but he's injured.
Headline.
Injuries happen. I mean, come on, dude.
Okay, but Rock's not going to be a long-term champion. He's only going to be champion for a month or two, and then he's dropping into Mania. So, the whole point of Rock coming back was he wants to win the title. He even announced it on TV. So he's coming back, and he's got to win the title at some point during this run, and the only way he's going to win it is before Mania, because after Mania he's done...
So you're talking 4 months almost, man, of no WWE title being defended on house shows if Rock wins the Royal Rumble? You're talking 4 months, man.
Yep.
You're talking a quarter of a year.
It's not 4 months. It's January to March or
January, February, March, April. You're looking almost 3.5, almost 4 months, man.
Well, when the Rumble's not in the beginning of January, it's near the middle of the end, so you have February and March, and then beginning of April he loses.
All right, so you're looking more around 3 months. You're looking the middle of January, and then you're looking, the beginning of April. I guess 2.5 or 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, see, my big thing wasn't even house shows. It was, and this is agreement with you, is if Rock wins the title at Rumble, how he's going to have to defend it at other pay-per-views before WrestleMania and Raw. I mean, otherwise, how are they going to make him champion and then he never defends it until WrestleMania, and then every 30 days the champion has to defend the title, they get stripped, and how
No. He's already confirmed for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, so that's the one after the Royal Rumble. So he's already confirmed for there.
Maybe he wins it there then. I don't know. I mean, I guarantee he's going into WrestleMania as champion. It's just a matter of who he's going to be defending it against and losing it to there. Because the whole point is, he won last year, so this year he's going to do the honors and lose at WrestleMania and put somebody over, which makes me think they're going to do the Cena rematch so that Cena can get it back after losing last year. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
All right, no doubt. We'll have to wait it out and see, man. I think CM Punk retains at the Royal Rumble, and Boone thinks that Rock, without a doubt, takes the title at WrestleMania. 518-712-3070. 518-712-3070. Give us a call right now. We've got open phone lines. AJ Clark, is Ziggler still going to face Ryder at WrestleMania 29 for the Internet title that was advertised earlier this year? No, they were just joking around. They were doing the web shows and tweeting back and forth, and the Internet title, I mean, that's never defended. Zack Ryder doesn't come out with a belt every week, dude. Ziggler.
Well, it's like a rib. It's like they're the two guys that are over with all the marks on the Internet. So yeah, let's have the two Mark's favorites, wrestle for whatever.
Yeah,
it's a joke, not serious.
No, that's not at WrestleMania. Ziggler's not going to be in a match with Ryder. Ryder will be lucky to even be on WrestleMania, man. Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
What's going on, brother? This is Matt from Arizona here tonight.
How you doing, man? We're doing good.
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing good, man. About to get drunk here. So.
There you go.
Nice.
Exactly. Just calling. I missed the first part of the show, so can you give me like a synopsis on what some of the plans that were leaked, or what did I miss, man?
What have we got going on? We talked, basically in hour number one, we talked TLC and Monday Night Raw. And now we're just, taking basic questions. And we talked
about... I think this guy in the chat asking about plans leaked. You must have advertised the show by saying we're going to reveal some plans that were leaked. And then we did, but, yeah.
We talked about Ric Flair and, what the deal is between, him and WWE. Is going to be back full-time? What were the original plans for him? The original plan actually called for Ashley Flair, for him to introduce her, to come out. We put that up on the website today, but
she's in developmental, right, with WWE?
She is down in developmental, right? She's going by the name Charlotte, which makes sense, right? Ric Flair, based out of Charlotte,
North Carolina, yeah.
Right, exactly. So, and we talked about the TNA versus WWE lawsuit, what the deal is, why TNA talents have not come over to WWE just yet, what the reasoning is. We're going to have an archive up. We're going to put it up on WZROnline.com, and should be up tomorrow, I believe, if Daniel's around. So, it's all good. Shakari Robinson, do you see CM Punk holding the WWE title past WrestleMania? Well, Boone says the title's coming off him at the Royal Rumble. I say CM Punk's title reign continues. Yeah, I mean, if he faces Taker, if he's still champion at WrestleMania and he faces Taker, I think Taker winds up winning. I don't expect Taker's streak to ever end. I think he goes out on top, and it's always the undefeated streak that always was. It's.
Somebody in the chat said a great thing. They said Taker wins the title at WrestleMania, the streak continues, and he retires with the undefeated streak, and he retires as champion. And now that would be a good one. To have Rock versus Undertaker. Rock loses, that would be one. Like I said, the Undertaker streak thing is a situation where you got to put somebody in there where people believe, or at least think that it's possible that the streak can end. And you put The Rock in there against him, and he's the champion on top of it, like people would probably think, wow, this is the one Taker's going to lose. So that would be a great one.
That would definitely be a good feud. Caller, you're live on WZR Radio. What's up?
Yes, Ryan, I would like to know, I know that your Facebook is pretty much full.
Mm-hmm.
How can I get added to it, or do you have another Facebook account, or,
If you, I think there's a subscribe button. If you go to facebook.com/RyanClarkWZR, I don't think you can add me as a friend as I'm maxed out, but if you subscribe to the page, a couple of weeks ago I found out a way where anybody that was subscribed could also comment on the threads. So subscribe.
So can I still see your posts and all that stuff?
Right. They're all gonna show up, man. As long as you subscribe to the page, the posts are gonna show up for you, and you'll be able to reply and comment and do whatever else.
Okay, thank you very much, man.
All right, you're welcome, buddy. Appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, I saw that guy in the chat too, man. A lot of chat people are actually calling in first time ever. That's pretty cool. Get some new callers. I like it. New blood.
We're here every Tuesday night. Normally we're here every Tuesday night from 8 to 10 Eastern time. So if you guys are tuning in, you know, for the first time tonight, every Tuesday night, we have a good time. Tonight's kind of a mellow show, you know. A lot of times.
Hey, I'm not feeling it tonight. I'm not feeling it.
No, I'm not either, man. It's Thursday night. It's not Tuesday, you know. We're a little bit off tonight, you know. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, the formality of doing a Tuesday show, I used to think it didn't matter when we did a show. I would always get mad at you because there'd be times, not mad, but I'd be like, man, we should do a show right now. Like, I'm in a great mood. I feel like doing a show. There's a lot to talk about. And you're like, no, we got to do it on Tuesday. But you're right. When we do Wednesday shows or this Thursday, it feels different. It doesn't feel like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It just doesn't feel right.
It definitely doesn't feel right. Something about it, man. You know.
Chris, Raw on Tuesdays or something. It just doesn't feel right. Raw's Monday. That's Raw wrestling. You know?
Live SmackDown on Tuesday nights. You know, and it's just weird.
Yeah, that's a good example. Exactly.
Christopher Brown. What are the rumored plans for Tommy Dreamer's role in WWE right now? WWE never wanted Tommy Dreamer to leave in the first place. He wound up leaving on his own terms. Basically, said he was burnt out. He was tired. A lot of people don't realize Tommy Dreamer was. Remember when WWE brought back the ECW promotion? It was an epic fail, right? Everybody says epic fail. So Tommy Dreamer was, you know, the head guy behind getting all that stuff. Not the creative end. He was early on, but as time went on, WWE took it over and basically killed it. But Tommy Dreamer was the guy that contacted all the old guys to come back, that put everything together, got things started. He's worked in the office, he's worked at Titan Tower, and has done a lot of behind-the-scenes work for WWE. So if Tommy Dreamer were to return full-time at WWE, it would be more of an agent role or a producer role, as to, you know, a pro wrestling role, you know, an in-ring role with WWE. I don't think you'd see him much. It'd be more behind the scenes with Dreamer.
Yeah, every once in a while you might get that Ron Simmons damn appearance at a Tommy Dreamer, but he'd never be a full-time wrestler. Like, I was waiting for you to say the word agent, because that's what he'd be doing. He'd just be working with the young guys.
Exactly. Louis Daw, for months I believe that Dolph Ziggler will cash in at the Royal Rumble and lose, but will then go on to win the Royal Rumble. What are you and Matt's thoughts on this? That's, you know what? That's a good point he brings up.
Creative swerve. Yeah, that's a real creative swerve. Because then you're like, oh shit, he didn't win. He's not going to get the title. And then he wins Rumble. And you're like, oh shit, maybe he will get. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like that idea.
I like that. I like that. Where he goes out, he cashes in Money in the Bank, he loses, but then later in the night he wins the actual Royal Rumble. I like that, man.
WWE needs like a tip line where people can call in, like our fans come up with some cool fucking shit. And every once in a while, me and you will come up with some cool shit.
Right? They do. They do.
If we were writing there every week, eventually we'd get burnt out and run out of cool ideas. But if WWE actually accepted a tip line and let people pitch ideas like that, like I'm sure, unless it's just retarded, is it like that idea, even if they don't do it with Ziggler, that'd be a great idea to do sometime. Like have a guy win the briefcase, everybody thinks he's going to cash in and win, he loses, but then he wins the Rumble, and it's like back to start, you know, square one. This guy has a title shot he could win, you know. It's a good idea.
It is. It definitely is. And that's part of the reason why WWE has people that watch TNA and TNA has people that watch WWE, and they scout, you know, promotions like Ring of Honor, and they see what they're doing. And that's why you see ideas copied every once in a while. I mean, both promotions are guilty of doing it, WWE and TNA. You know what I mean? It happens all the time.
That's why they need Heyman. They need to let Heyman, like, run developmental and just see all his ideas. Because he had Punk become a star when he was running FCW. They documented on that new CM Punk DVD. And then when like you said earlier, when they brought back ECW, epic fail, when they brought back the TV show, not the Invasion angle, but the TV show, Punk was like the first original ECW superstar to come out of that. And it was because Heyman saw something in him. And all the guys readily admit, Michael Hayes, Triple H, John Cena, they all say, we didn't think Punk had shit.
Right.
And Heyman did. And they were like, it was almost like a detriment to him to be backed by Heyman, because people think Heyman's like, he puts people over more than what they're worth. You know, they build him up too much and they never deliver, which is completely wrong, but that's the mindset.
You're absolutely right, dude. I mean, Heyman has always had a mind for creative, you know, the creative side of wrestling, man. Always.
Yeah, he can make a star of anybody. Anybody. I mean, he's taken some of the shittiest workers and the smallest nothing guys and turned them into huge stars. I mean, easily too. Like, I don't know. If WWE got all the Taz before Heyman, Taz would have never been nothing because he's a small, fucking pudgy guy, you know. But Heyman had people believing he was the baddest motherfucker in the world. You know what I mean? Like that's his talent.
It's 10:01. You got 5 minutes, man. We only got a couple more rapid fire. We're almost done, man. Almost
my
done.
bar is yellow on the. Yeah, I'll go until the phone dies. Okay.
All right, we got about 5, 6, 7 of these things left, so we'll get through. Brandon King, why does New Jack treat fans who helped him get paid like total shit? He posts about his son, and I tell him my grandfather has terminal brain cancer, and to keep his head up, so he blocks me on Facebook and sends me a message telling me to erase my comment. He don't care to hear about my grandfather. What the fuck?
Who did he say?
Well, he said, New Jack put up a post about his son.
Oh, New Jack. Okay.
And this guy told him that his grandfather had terminal brain cancer. I'm sorry to hear that, man. And to keep his head up. And New Jack wound up blocking him on Facebook and telling him to erase the message, and he doesn't give a shit about his grandfather. This is New Jack. Just a couple of months ago, New Jack came out when the Jerry Lawler heart attack happened, and this is a direct tweet from New Jack. Just heard about Lawler. Fuck that racist motherfucker. Die slow, you fucking cocksucker. If Lawler dies, let me know where his grave is. I can go piss on it. Fuck that bitch.
God,
Please let me know. Please let me know where they put that fucker in the ground so I can piss on his grave. When he responded to some fans who commented, he says, bitch, I'm not here to make you happy, and if what I said hurts, go fuck yourself, fan. I don't work for a fucking fan, so if what I say hurts your little white feelings, so fucking what? You were following me, bitch boy. And he goes on and on and on and on. This is New Jack. The guy is a legit nut job, man. If you've watched ECW way back in the day, he'd come out and he'd cut promos. He would do the same thing. He is an insensitive cocksucker, man. He really, really is. And there's no other way to put it, man. I'm sorry about your grandfather, man, but just remove New Jack. I mean, he's a dickhead. The guy's a total douchebag, man. And for him to do something.
But you're a big mark for New Jack. I guess you
No.
like him anymore.
I'm a big fan of New Jack. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I've always when I went to ECW, it was the Sandman. It was New Jack. I was a mark for New Jack. He would come out, dude, to the.
With Paul Mahoney. Did I say that?
Yeah.
I mean that story.
New Jack would come out to the original Gangsters theme, right, dude? Where I don't have it up right now.
Great beat.
Yeah. Right, he'd come out with the weapons and he would just go freaking. Yeah, he'd just go crazy. But that's New Jack for you, man. Louis Daw back again with WWE re-signing mid-carders. Can we see the likes of Funaki, Jimmy Wang Yang tonight, man. Tajiri and Pete Gas. Oh my God, dude, back full-time at WWE. The only guys they're talking about right now are Shelton Benjamin, who gave his basically gave his notice to Ring of Honor, and MVP is the other guy that they were talking about bringing back. And they may not.
Quiz.
What's that?
Pop quiz, real quick. Pete Gas, what stable was he in during the Attitude Era? Do you remember?
Yeah, Shane McMahon's group there, the Greenwich.
Yeah.
Greenwich something. I can't remember
the
Mean Street Posse. That's what it was.
Mean Street Posse. Yeah, I didn't get it. Look at you.
We had Rasan Hunt. Do you think WWE and Chris Jericho will get a deal done before WrestleMania 29? WrestleMania comes up, Boone, and you know how everybody is. It's WrestleMania time. Everybody wants back in WWE. Chris Jericho, you mark my words, Chris Jericho will be back in WWE for WrestleMania.
If not, I'll definitely be there to watch, like to be backstage and just hang out with people, be at the Hall of Fame and all that shit. What's up with the Hall of Fame? I haven't heard anything about it. Who's going in this year?
They're trying to get Bruno Sammartino, which is going to be difficult as Bruno wants nothing to do with Vince McMahon, but he's a big fan of Triple H. There was supposed to be
Triple H was supposed to meet him and try and talk him in. He tried last year too, though, and it didn't work. So
right, exactly. The other names that have been discussed. The Rock being one, and he's going to have a match at WrestleMania. I think it's too early for The Rock. Bruno, Mick Foley. Mick Foley looks to be out of the running as of right now. Even Paul Heyman had been discussed. There was also talk of Owen Hart. But Owen Hart is similar to Bruno Sammartino, where Owen's widow wants nothing to do with WWE.
That lost it. Yeah, I would think Macho Man would be an obvious one, but they've only dated him too. But
the other names are Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. But the problem with that is Lanny Poffo wants the entire family inducted into the Hall of Fame, and said that was what Randy always wanted, and WWE has a hard time believing that, as they want Randy Savage and not everybody else, not the entire family, to be inducted. So there's a problem there. You've got the problem with Owen Hart. You've got the problem with Bruno Sammartino. And the other rumored name was the Ultimate Warrior. And you guys know how negotiations with Warrior go, where he's going to demand this, that, and the other thing. So that may not happen either. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you one that's definitely going in, and I'll tell you how I know. Michael P.S. Hayes, either him by himself or the Fabulous Freebirds as a tag team, and it's because he does those Legends of Wrestling roundtables on WWE On Demand, and they had two new ones recently. One about the history of Raw, the greatest one, and then one about hardcore wrestling. And the one on the hardcore wrestling just came out, and they it was an ongoing joke every time they do those tables, because everybody there is usually a Hall of Famer. Jim Ross, Mean Gene Okerlund, etc., Pat Patterson. Right. And Michael Hayes is always the one that is in the Hall of Famer, and they always bust his balls about it. Well, this time, I forget the wording that they did, but they said this year, they almost pretty much straight out said he's going in this year, so I don't know. I just mark my words. Michael Hayes will be in, or the Freebirds as a team together will be in.
And not only that, but Michael Hayes is, head SmackDown writer, has been for a while now, and actually,
Buddy Roberts just died.
Actually, a couple of months ago, Michael Hayes took a more lesser of a role on the creative team with WWE, but he still is a major part of WWE creative, just not head writer anymore. We put that up on the website.
You know what he ushered in music in wrestling? Did you know he was the first guy to come out with music as his entrance?
Michael Hayes was, really?
Yeah, they would when it was the Freebirds, they'd come. I think it was when they went to Texas. They would come out to the Leonard Skinner song, Freebird, and then they had Bad Street USA that they did and all that shit. But yeah, he was the guy that introduced music to wrestling.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Ryan Ennis, that's Rygao, ROH Bumps, talk ROH Bumps. We talked about the two major ones, man. Actually, he submitted that about an hour ago, so we already talked about it. Peter Smith, it's Sting. He's behind the January 3rd, 2013 promos. Did they confirm that on Impact? Anybody in the chat watching Impact? I think it is Sting. We put that up on the website a week or two ago. So they did confirm it? No, they didn't confirm it. But it looks like it's going to be Sting. Doesn't look like they're going to bring anybody in from the outside. Looks like Sting going to be making his return on January 3rd, 2013. Three more. Jason Swafford at Brandon King. New Jack is a total piece of garbage. I used to be a fan of his too. Sorry to hear about your grandpa. We agree, man. It's basically the same thing we told you. Vincent Nugent. I think that's Acer. I think. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Look at the way he types. To Matt, what are your thoughts on the past two UFC events? Hi, Anti-Bot. Your thoughts on Big E Langston?
The last two UFCs were shit. I mean, it was the Ultimate Fighter US finale and then the Ultimate Fighter Australia UK finale. Ross Pearson, one of your favorite fighters from the UK, beat George Sotiropoulos. And the US one, Roy Nelson knocked out Matt Mitrione. But I didn't get to watch either of them. They were small shows. I'm looking forward to Dos Santos Velasquez, and then Nick Diaz and GSP got announced. I'm looking forward to that a lot too. So we'll see.
The Roy Nelson knockout was disgusting, man. Oh my god.
I didn't even see it yet. Was it a good knockout?
It was an awesome knockout, dude. An awesome fucking knockout. It was crazy.
God, I gotta move, man. I haven't watched one. I got to watch UFC on Fox because we get basic cable. But other than that, I've missed every UFC the whole 6 months I've been. I haven't seen one, and it kills me, man, because I love watching UFC. I gotta get somewhere with a TV.
Right. And then the last one, how come, actually two more, one just popped up. Justin Nesser, and last question, what size t-shirts you got, and where can I send the money to? I have small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, and 5XL. 5XL.
You do have 5XL?
I got 2 5XLs.
Dude, you know what you gotta do? You gotta hold out the shirt. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you put a shirt up to your see how it looks? Hold it out and take a picture. I want to see how big that fucker is. Put that on Facebook.
It is
It's gotta be like a fucking blimp or something. Jesus Christ, 5XL.
I'd have to go through the box, dude. They're probably at the
I wonder what Big Show wears. Do you think Big Show wears bigger than a 5XL, or is that big enough for him?
He's probably about a 5XL. I'd have to check out the actual size of a 5XL, but man, oh man.
5XL.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Shoot me an email, man. Webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com. I'll give you an address where you can send that out. God, they're still coming in. Ali Adar, how come they don't induct ECW to the Hall of Fame as a collective? If they ever take WrestleMania to Philly, it might be a good idea.
You can't induct the whole promotion in the Hall of Fame. I mean, and if they did, the ECW wouldn't be the first one that should go in. AWA should be, because that's pretty much where Vince turned his company around and went national by stealing all their guys. Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura, Bobby Ray, Mean Gene Okerlund. I mean, the list goes on and on. So, right. ECW, yeah, but you can't induct the whole promotion, no.
And the last one from Rob Saval. Merry Christmas, Boone and Clark. Hashtag WZR Army. We could not have ended on a better rapid-fire question or comment.
There it is. Yeah. You got to play Jingle Bells or something on the way out, too. Be creative here, man. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, what do you want me to... What's a good Christmas song? You know what I'll do? I'm going to do something for the people in Connecticut. It's kind of... we gotta kind of go out with, we'll go out with something nice for them. That'll do it, man. We're out of here. Thanks, everybody, for coming out on a, Thursday night. This is it, man. We went out with a bang, man. 2012, it's been a good year, like I said, for WZR Radio, WZROnline.com. It's been a great year for the website. It's been a great year for the radio show. Thanks to everybody who shows up every Tuesday night, man, or a Thursday night, whatever the night is. You guys have been there week after week after week, man. They show up every Tuesday night.
And I'll say happy holidays to the WZR Army as well. Thanks for welcoming me back into the family. I gotta say a very Merry Christmas and very happy holidays to one of my best friends on the planet, Mr. Ryan Clark, my boss. I think this is the first year I've actually worked for you. I think I started with you this year as an employee. And, yeah, man, you really helped me a lot this year, so I gotta thank you very, very much for that. Very, very, very thankful that you hooked me up, so... Thank you and happy holidays.
Right back at you, brother. Right back at you. This guy's one of my best friends, man. It's one of the very few. When we started this thing 15 years ago, about 15 years ago, right?
Yeah, about 13 or 14 years. 14 years, yeah.
When nobody gave me an opportunity, man, to post news, to report on the websites, when everyone else said, fuck this guy, man. It's very hard to start your own website. You guys, some of you guys have probably tried.
Getting your foot in the door is hard. That's the hardest part.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but when nobody gave me an opportunity to go and plug my websites and put, my website's name out there, Boone was the only guy, man, and I'll never forget it. He was the only guy with Marston and Mitch Newton and everybody else back in those days, even Einhaus.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody gave me an opportunity, and Boone was always the guy who said, this guy's a cool cat, man, give him a shot. I would get hired, I would get fired, I'd get hired again, and every time I got hired, it was because of Boone. So I appreciate it, dude, and that's why I'm still here right now.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it, guys. We're out of here, and we'll see you guys in 2013, man. We're not going to be here next week. It's Christmas.
Hopefully. We might not be here after tomorrow. We might all be dead.
We may all be, yeah. I know. Well, hopefully the end of the world or whatever they're saying happens tomorrow. It's not going to happen. Get out of here.
Blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, buddy. There we go. All right. Have a great Christmas, guys. Have an awesome New Year. We're not going to see you before then. We're going to be back not next week, the following week. We return to our normal routine Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time. Feedback, man.
We want your feedback at facebook.com/ Ryan Clark WZR. Once you get there, he will have the post good and ready for you. It'll be the top post. He'll ask you for your feedback. Don't be lazy. Facebook.com/ Ryan Clark WZR. Type it in right now. Tell us what you liked about the show. Tell us what you liked about this year with the show. Tell us what you didn't like about the show. Tell us what you didn't like about this year's WZR. This is how we get better. If you like it, we do more of it. If you don't, we do less. Give us your feedback on 2012's WZR Radio at Facebook.com/Ryan Clark WZR.
All right, that'll do it, guys. Once again, from both Matt Boone and I, have a great New Year. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys in 2013. For Matt Boone,
that's me.
This is Ryan Clark.
Hey, that's him.
Saying see ya. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern Time. Once again, have a great Christmas, have a great New Year, and we'll see you guys in 2013. And to everybody affected, in Newtown, Connecticut, our thoughts are with you guys, and you guys will get through this. Anything you need, webmaster@ProWrestlingScoops.com. We'll see you guys in 2013.